60s.
It's like Red at Night.
Red at Night.
I was born in '73. We were still watching on black and white.
Well, there were still some shows. I had a black and white TV in my bedroom when I was a kid growing up.
Yep.
Actually,
You had a TV in your bedroom? We had one TV for the whole house.
dude, you know why I had a TV in my bedroom? Because I won it.
Oh, yeah.
When I was a little kid, we went to some event, and I don't remember, like every person that went into the event, I don't even remember what it was, got a raffle ticket. And I won one of the prizes, and I won a little black and white TV. I mean, it was like this big. And so like I was like, you know, a 5-year-old with a TV in my room, black and white TV. And I mean, my parents couldn't get away with not letting me have that shit. I won that.
That's how we got 2 TVs in our house. Our dad won a TV at a raffle ticket. Yeah. Weird.
Yeah, I was poor when I was a little kid, so black and white TV was pretty badass.
My buddy had a 13-inch black and white TV with a handle on the back of it. And he would bring it over to my house, and I would run an extension cord out into the yard with my Nintendo, and all the kids from the neighborhood would come over, and we would play Tecmo Bowl and NBA Jam tournaments out laying in the grass in the front yard.
On a 13-inch black and white TV, dude.
On a 13-inch black and white TV, 100%.
8-bit, dude. You probably couldn't see shit. Like, everything is just completely, like, the same color, basically.
It was just grayscale. It was great.
So look, every time we do this is our 10th session playing here, and every single, or I guess it's session 9, but it's the 10th game, and I never say like and subscribe. So I should say like and subscribe to the channel so you can, you know, follow us. Our last episode was a lot of people were watching it, so that was really great. And I've been putting the Discord server link in the description, at the top of the description of every episode, and we would love to have you join. You know, Nick runs Cthulhu on there, and I'm doing this. And you know, slots are spare, but we're always looking to play new games. We talk about it a lot. So,
and I don't run a damn thing.
I mean, you ran a pretty damn good adventure, Supernatural, one time that involved humans cooked into some chili, and there were shape changers. So I'm just saying,
I had to throw those in just for you.
My character in that game was obsessed with shape changers. He believed everybody was a shape changer. So, well, let's get to it. So, where we last left off, the group of you had been ambushed by a half a dozen gnolls, 2 humans, and a sort of human sergeant. The sergeant actually got away. He escaped. Our leader escaped. While simultaneously being hit by long distance arrows in the back as he escaped, but he did manage to survive and get away. The remainder were killed except for one of the gnolls, which you managed to capture, bind, and which you have in your possession right now. During the fight, of course, the Inn of the Welcome Wench was set ablaze, and many of the town folk came out to put out that fire in a bucket brigade, and it was successfully put out. But let's see here. Why has the music stopped? There we go. Can anybody hear this?
No. It's not.
All right, there we go. The bucket brigade came out, was putting out the blaze, and by the end of the battle, after bodies were looted, you were done kind of patching people up. Tuktrin and Brother Rygar. And Nick, if you wouldn't mind changing your character name so that way that I don't have to look at my piece of paper every single time I try to remember your character's name. By the way, I love it. Your little icon there in the corner with Conan.
Conan the Librarian.
I mean, if that dude was telling me to quiet down. I think the library would be a lot quieter. Although some librarians can be man, I tell you what, a look from a librarian sometimes that'll be just as tough a look as Conan the Barbarian. But anyway, yeah, Brother Rygar and Tuctrin really took a beating and needed to be healed up and all of that. So you kind of been doing that. The fire is pretty much under control, but there is now a huge gathering in the center area of town. Basically, the Inn of the Welcome Wench is kind of like in the town square center area. There's sort of an open place around which much of the town's commerce takes place, and you're seeing lots of folks that you know, lots of folks that you kind of recall seeing throughout the town, and then others that you haven't seen before. But there are a whole bunch of people there, and things are sort of starting to die down, and folks are starting to look your way a little bit as you are like roughly picking up the Gnoll, bound, gagged, unconscious. What are you doing now? Pick up from there. What would you like to do?
Does anyone speak Gnoll?
I do not.
What language do Gnoll speak? Do they speak Gnollish?
Do what?
I could speak Hobgoblin and Goblin. I decided on my language. I looked up in the elf book on what languages they know.
He might be able to understand that.
Yeah, he could possibly understand that. One of those, at least. He may know common. I mean, he was with humans, was he not?
He was. Yep.
So whether that human knew Gnollish or
could have been summoned by a wizard, though. Can't they summon creatures?
They
do their bidding?
They can.
Is the Gnoll is it conscious, the Gnoll?
No, he's unconscious right now.
Oh.
Oh, you know what? Actually, he may be conscious because he was either sleep or hold.
He's held.
Yeah, so he is conscious.
Held. Yeah. It was held.
He's kind of like in your grasp, and you know, it's hard to gather emotions from the jackal-faced Gnoll who's growling in your hands, but he's not really putting up a fight considering that he's surrounded by many armed humans. In fact, I
can end hold at any time.
I'm gonna say maybe your hold's probably worn off by now. How long does it last?
It goes for 2 rounds per level, so 6 rounds.
Oh yeah, it's definitely worn off then at this point. But you got him bound and everything. But at this point too, you know, he's not fighting you off, but in addition to, you know, the heavily armed, what was I calling your group last time? I kind of forget. I had made up some name.
The Vengeance of Verbabonk.
Oh, yeah, the Vengeance of Verbabonk. Which you're welcome to please change, for the love of God, come up with something better. You're starting, like, not only are you there, but of course you're starting to see, you know, there are Burns Badgers with their blue surcoats with the, you know, the sword wielding badger image on the front, and members people who you presume are members of the local militia are starting to gather. And like amongst the gathering group, you see a bleary-eyed Burn and very likely drunk Rufus amongst the crowd now. You see Jaru, the druid, has come from his grove to sort of see what's happening, kind of to tend. I mean, there's some other wounded too, like people who got burns and things like that from the fires. And there's a lot of folks who are of the old faith here, so he's there, you know, tending to wounded and such. You do see Sir Roderick, you notice, in fact, that assisting Canon Calmer, who you met upon arriving to Hommlet, is there. He does actually have his plate mail armor on. He came ready for battle, but now he's kind of shifted into sort of helping the people. And you see a man who you presume must be the Canon Turjon, who Assistant Canon Calmer had mentioned to you previously. In fact, let me get a description for Turjon for you really quick. But the two of them are like, helping out people as well. They seem to have a really good rapport with the local populace. And you see Elmo. Elmo is actually kind of like taking everything in. He's not necessarily, I would say, like helping anybody specifically. He's just kind of like, let's see. Let me get a picture for you. I think this 5th edition version of it actually has pictures of these characters. So let me get Turjon here. See if I can find him. If he's in here, he might not be, but kind of cool if he had a little picture for you.
I guess I will to the thingy thing be like, can you speak creature? And go through languages added.
All right. Yeah, so you start going, you said goblin, hobgoblin. What are your other languages?
Goblin, hobgoblin, orcish, elvish, high elvish.
Make a perception check.
Perception. Rolled a 2.
Oh, okay,
That's
great.
good.
Very good. So you're noticing no photo of Canon Turjon. I'll give a description. I'll make one up here in just a second. The as you're asking, you're going through, the creature does nothing but like have a low growl. It's big. It's towering over you, and like he's kind of like covered in blood. He took a few wounds as well. He's covered in blood, both both his own and I think he had taken out Brother Rygar. So he's got, I don't remember which one, but he's got one of your companions' blood on him as well. But he, you notice like he doesn't answer you, but you notice his kind of like eyes flash when you speak hobgoblin. Like there's a flash of recognition. Maybe he understood what you said when you said something in hobgoblin, though he doesn't respond.
Okay. I'll go back to hobgoblin and be like, do you work for Lolth?
At that point, you start asking questions, and you see the village elder is walking over towards the group. The man who was, he had actually come to you the night previously to thank you for your service to the town and ridding it of the wyvern. But he comes over to you now, and he's got a couple of militiamen, and he says, good, you've captured a prisoner. We'll take him from here. And he starts motioning for the militiamen to take the Gnoll.
I'll say to him, can any of your men speak hobgoblin? It seems to be the only language this creature recognizes.
He says, I can't speak for any of my men, but I can tell you this, their trial isn't going to last long. He's pretty clearly guilty. He says, my role as village elder is also information
about killed him
what?
Already. Where they came from, what they work for, why have they attacked here in the middle of town, in the middle of the night?
Yeah, they were pretty specific on who they attacked too. I mean, it was a directed attack against these gentlemen in this room. That's obvious.
He looks to you and he says,
Someone got away. It'd be nice to know where he's getting away to instead of waiting for him to come back with more.
Right. There was a leader who got away. There was also another one of these beasts that got away.
There was a magical attack too because they had the door locked magically. We could not get out. So more powerful people are behind this ambush than these simple creatures.
Yeah, they didn't.
All right, at that point,
in.
At that point, you hear Burn come up, like from behind, like basically from behind the group. He says, "Don't bother. The Elder doesn't respond to logic and wisdom like that. It's all about swift justice here in the town of Hommlet, isn't it? Fine, sir." He just kind of glares. And he says, the Elder says to you, Greyhawk, he says, "Fine, you and your companions make a good point. Come. We will take him to the town hall, and you can have your words with him before the trial."
Okay.
By the way, Burns, you sit high on the list of people who's able to cast spells like that in this town.
Spells like what?
Like locking a door magically.
I sense an accusation in your words, sir.
I'm just saying.
As this is going on, I'm just going to kind of step back and try to get a view of everyone gathered there. And I'm just going to concentrate and see if I can detect any intentions amongst the gathered crowd.
All right, so
My
go ahead and
stomach
do a yeah. So JB, like you just feel this like roiling through your stomach, and you're like, oh shit, I might need to use the restroom here soon. So Roderick, go ahead and make a perception check, and I'm gonna give you a +2 bonus since you're sort of scanning the crowd for any nefarious activities.
13 exactly. So that's
You made it exactly.
Yeah, that's 11.
All right, so you see a couple of so you made it then, like exactly. Good.
Yeah.
So you see kind of on the outskirts of the central area, a bit like on the northern road that heads like around and up, basically up and out of town, like from where you came when you entered in the town.
Toward the temple.
Towards the temple. Yep. Let me see here. Oh yeah, okay. You see two men. One of them is like morbidly obese. I mean, he's got a big, like he's kind of wearing like night clothes, I guess you might say, although he has breeches on now, but he's got this like shirt that's like kind of stained. He looks like he's a morbidly obese man. He's got a like patchy kind of balding hair, kind of a perpetual like a scowl imprinted on his face, and he's kind of like looking around the corner there, and he's standing next to a man who's currently he's got a cowl, so his face is sort of hooded, but you can see that he's got leather armor on, and you can actually see his hand is resting on like the hilt of a small weapon. It could be a dagger, short sword. You can't tell from this distance really, but he's definitely got his hand on a weapon, and you definitely sense evil intent from them. And you look over in that direction, and the man wearing leather armor, whose face is obscured by the shadow, like you can see like the flash of his eyes, like in the moonlight, as your eyes meet, and he uses his unoccupied hand, the one that's not on the dagger, to kind of like nudge his friend, and then he kind of motions over in your direction, and then they kind of are quickly exchange a couple of words. You want to do anything when you see this?
Not at the moment. No, I'm just gonna turn back to the main crowd there.
All right. You notice then out of the corner eyes, because you're obviously still kind of got him in your perception.
Yeah, I'm not gonna ignore them, but I'm just gonna kind of let my gaze go over them and back to the crowd.
The obese man steps kind of like, having been discovered, he sort of steps from around the edge there so you can kind of see him a little bit better, and just leans up against the building that he's standing next to. The other man, essentially melts into the shadows and disappears, heading north, around the building, but like up the road essentially. But scanning the rest, that's the only evil intent that you detect when you're scanning around. Let me see what anybody else wants to do here. I want to make sure everybody gets an opportunity here. Okay. So the elder and his militiamen are kind of like doing crowd control to get everybody through the crowd, pushing the Gnoll through the as you move the Gnoll through the crowd. Greyhawk, I assume. Well, you're not holding him. Not Greyhawk. Who's got a hold of the Gnoll? Somebody big and strong.
I can hold him with someone else.
I mean, aren't you fully healed now, Tuctrin? Isn't everybody healed?
No. I have hit points, but I am not fully healed. But I'll hold him. I'm okay with it.
All right.
I can help hold too. I got a 16 strength.
I'm standing nearby, but
yeah. Brother Rygar, I mean, 16 strength. We got to think in terms of average humans. Like, you're super strong. Like, I mean, not like you're not Tuctrin strong or Sir Roderick strong, but you're like pretty effing strong. So the two of you easily have him under control. The Gnoll, who's not really resisting. I mean, he's not being exactly participatory in being dragged along to the town hall, but at the same time, he's not like actively attempting to run away or anything.
He knows he's going to get there eventually. He's just making it as difficult as possible.
Not even that, really, because there's so many people around, and a few people actually start throwing shit at the guy, at the Gnoll, and you're getting hit with a little bit of debris as well, just because it's like they're not marksmen or anything, It's like they're like throwing food, and like you're pretty sure that like it's always crazy to me, like when a crowd, like somebody like throws shit, like they like literally had to have it probably in their hand to be able to throw it, but it's like this is like splat.
Humans.
But eventually you're taken over to a and Rufus says, "Now, Elder, I'm sure that given that my good friend Rufus and I are on the town council, you certainly won't mind if we accompany you for this questioning here." And the elder sort of grumbles. And of course, we did pay for and build the town hall, so I'm sure that gives us a little bit of an in, right? I don't need to remind you of that, though. Never mind for that. And the elder guides the basically guides your group, and you do go into a town hall building. And let me mark this on the map here for you, if I can freaking find it, man. It's always difficult for me to find these fucking things on the map. My apologies here. While you all are heading to... Actually, the village hall is right next to the Inn of the Welcome Wench, actually. It is... And I'll ping it on the map. For those of you who can't see it, it's essentially just between the Tailor and the Inn of the Welcome Wench, just following up the northern road. So it's right there. I'll let you fill in your own map there.
Is that kind of in the direction of where the fat man's leaned up against the building?
Yeah, he's actually leaned up against that building, and as you start moving towards it, he just starts heading north, up the road, not being conspicuous.
As we're moving forward, I'm just going to say to Ren or JB or whoever I'm close to, Brother Igar, Tuctrin, whoever, who's the fat man?
All the rest of you recognize. Oh, anybody who went into the trader's shop. I think most of you went into the trader's.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, recognize the man as being one of the two proprietors of the trader's shop. You don't know who his name is or anything like that, but you recognize who he is.
He either owns or co-owns the trader. Why?
Him and his companion were observing the goings-on we had down here, and
I mean, a lot of people were observing the goings-on.
Yeah, but those two have a strong evil intent, especially
Says you.
Exactly, says me. You can trust me on this one.
Sure, human.
Oh, I love it.
If it'll make you happy, I'll keep an eye on where they go. Just make sure you let me know what Cujo says when you interrogate him in the town hall.
It's definitely something worth noting.
Tuctrin's got a little bit of like blood like caked around his like nose. Maybe he's got like a couple of like cotton balls up his nose or something like that, because I'm hearing a little stuffed up I'm giving I just want to give a shout out here to Dom for powering through while being sick tonight. So good on him.
I mean, he nearly died 2 weeks ago.
Character nearly died. I got a negative COVID test today, but I have the flu. So hey, there you go.
Oh my God, you're flu D&Ding. Okay, I appreciate it.
I'm like the Michael Jordan of Dungeons and Dragons. I got the flu game. If anybody gets that reference,
I get it. You and I there are not a lot of sports fans / D&D fan crossover people, but I am one of those people. All right, so you head up to the town hall. It is a newer building. Even the wood looks a little different. I would say probably Tuctrin, you would notice, maybe the elves too, that the construction comes from materials not local materials. And you enter into the hall, and let me get the description of it. Let's see. There are a few benches and stools by the bare walls, with a large plain table at the far end of the room. A tapestry on the back wall shows a green field with 2 acorns above a sheaf of grain, the banner of Hommlet as you enter in. It's a 2-story building. There's a secondary balcony. Yeah, I'm sorry. What did you... Go ahead, Greyash.
Yeah, this is as we're like heading towards there, and be like, what should we ask this creature when we get here? I don't feel like we'll be given much time.
Ask them who their leader is and where they came from.
Mm-hmm.
Ask them why they were sent to attack us. Maybe if there's further intention to do us any more harm.
Nah, we're done.
That is, if this ignorant beast isn't just a dishonorable murdering, minion of the men who summoned him or recruited it.
All right, you're about to head into the hall. Any other things, any other discussion you want to have, or anything else you want to do before you enter in? And is everybody going in other than JB?
I won't be going in.
Okay.
I'll just be standing outside, kind of keeping my eyes out.
I'm going in.
I'll go in.
Yeah, I'll go in.
Okay, so Ren's going to keep watch, and Burn, Rufus... Actually, you know what? Rufus stays out with you, Ren. He kind of grunts to you, and he takes a swig from a small flask that he has, and then he like stretches out over to you. He's kind of like, you can see him wavering, just like ever so slightly on his feet.
I act like I take a drink, but I don't, and then I hand it back.
All right. Even like the tiniest bit of alcohol touching your lips tells you that that is full of fire. You head in. The rest of you head in. JB, you sneak off. Now, are you going to be like ninja hide in shadows, dude, or are you just kind of like walking north?
I am gonna keep myself hidden in shadows because I have a feeling if I get seen, I'm gonna get attacked and die again. That seems to be the way it goes when I'm by myself. But I'm gonna do my best to not be seen and not be heard.
All right, go ahead and do a hide in shadows roll and give yourself a plus 25% chance because you're like in the dark of night.
Okay.
Pretty easy to hide in the shadows outside in the dark of night. In terrain you already know.
Made it.
All right, yeah, you got it. All right, so I'll get back to you briefly. You are trailing the man, and this will be interesting, I think, to you.
And I'm not going to try to confront or engage them. I just want to see where they're going. So as long as I keep them in my sights, I can stay far enough away.
Got it. So you're going to go and backstab them. Okay, I'll keep that in mind. All right. The rest of you, other than Ren, you head in, and the elder says to the militia, he says, "You, the two men, keep the doors shut. Make sure nobody else comes in." He says, "You two keep an eye on the prisoner."
I put my axes on my shoulders.
Nice. Rufus, again, he stayed outside. Burn comes in, and he takes a seat on a bench, like in the front row, right across from the table. The elder does actually go and sit down at the table, like in the center chair of the table, and the rest of you, like leading the Gnoll in, you're kind of in this weird no man's land. It's like between the benches and chairs and that table. So it's almost weirdly feels like you've led the Gnoll up to the table to stand in front of the elder to a certain extent. It sort of has that vibe, I guess. That's what it kind of would look like to an outsider. And the elder says, "All right, ask your questions, but don't take too long. I don't want to spend all night on this. Looking forward to getting this taken care of and getting back to bed."
Okay. I guess the creature's tied up. I will.
I'm going to assume then Brother Rygar has a hand on him then, a hold of him, since Tuckdrin's got his axes over his shoulder.
I'm gonna like have my dagger in hand, and I'm gonna try and ask questions and ask for like as I like look to Tuckdrin as like, it's like, I'm not very intimidating. Maybe you could give a hand. It's like in common as I pull out my dagger. It's like walk, like stand up in front of this creature, try and be as intimidating as I can, but like I'm not.
I will.
As I just say, it's like,
yeah, I'll take my. Hold on a second. Okay, I'm gonna walk over with my holy axe that's covered in his friend's blood, and I'm also covered in my own blood and his friend's blood. And I'm just gonna walk up to this. He says a Gnoll, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't speak Gnollish or whatever their language is. I speak Goblin. So I'm gonna walk over and in a mixture of Common and Goblin, tell him he needs to answer you need to answer his questions, or I'm going to flay you. And I'm gonna roll like an intimidation check on him.
Yeah. Do you have intimidation? I mean, like, there's.
I do have the proficiency.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, Goblin and Hobgoblin are actually separate languages, but I think that they would be similarly, like, in the same kind of family in a lot of ways. So maybe he doesn't understand all of it, but I'll say whatever your intimidation check tells depends on which words he understands or how he interprets them. So go ahead and do your intimidation check. And you know what? I'm gonna give you a +2 bonus to that because you are covered in blood and he's completely surrounded by enemies.
Okay. Well, I mean, I rolled a 2, and
Oh God, Lord Almighty!
I needed to roll less than a 20.
Yeah. Okay. Fuck. All right. Like, he actually is trying to, like, move away from you, like, back from you. Like, Brother Rygar, you're having to, like, in fact, make a strength check, Brother Rygar.
14.
All right. So, like, he almost gets free of your grasp. He's, like, just clearly trying to get away from Tuctrin. Like, he's pretty certain that Tuctrin's about to chop off his head to flay him if he doesn't
I will.
talk.
I'm not kidding. I will.
He probably still will.
Let me add my strength damage to that. I'm gonna use enough strength to give him my 1 point of damage.
Okay.
Stand still, beast.
Yes,
I'll wrench his shoulder back.
Hobgoblin.
I'm gonna step forward behind him as he's backing up and just let my aura encompass him and let him feel that. See if he wants to keep backing up.
Yeah, he's kind of like whimpering like a jackal, like a fearful jackal, like a jackal that is surrounded right now. A hyena, I mean, that's surrounded right now by lions. Like he's got that. He's sort of whimpering and cowering in fear.
I'll bark at him in Hobgoblin. It's like, who is your leader?
In Hobgoblin, he says, Gorf, you kill Gorf. Gorf dead.
Who's the spellcaster? Your magician.
No spellcaster.
There was one.
Sent from Beautiful One.
Lolth.
Garf.
Where did you
Beautiful
come from?
One
The
gives
Moat
us
House?
money. We come from Moat House.
What's he saying?
Yes.
Gray Ash?
They came from the Moat House. The leader was Garth. We killed. They were paid. The person who locked the door said he was sent by the Beautiful One. I'll bark back in Hobgoblin again. It's like, why us? Why did you attack us?
Because Garf said so. We come here to Garf, chief. Follow Garf.
Garth dead?
Garf dead.
Ask him who them humans were.
Who are the humans? Why are we working with them? Also Garth? What Beautiful One?
They of Beautiful One. From near under Moat House.
The humans were also from Lolth. From the Moat House.
Ask him if they had any help from anyone in town.
Did anyone from this town help you?
Like that, you march a group like that through a village, you got to have some kind of help.
He says, Humans meet with other humans. We come in wagon.
They meet with a big fat human.
Was it a fat human? A trade wagon?
No fat. Not fat. Not fat man.
Not, not fat man.
Man
No.
in hood.
Hooded man.
What he smell like? Ask him what he smelled like.
What does he smell like?
Smell like human shits. All humans smell like human shits.
No other distinctive smell on him.
No, just smelled like human.
He smelled like roses and honeysuckles with a touch of cherry.
Do you think there'd be
Smell
more of you
like
coming
human.
here?
Just say that again. I'm sorry, David. I couldn't hear
So
you.
do you think there'd be more of you coming here? How much? How many
No,
lives?
I not know. They pay, we do.
Did he know the man with the mace in his hand? You know that man's name?
Do you know any of the humans' names that you fought with? The one with the mace, the big man? None of them?
You might know that guy's name, actually. Let me see. He called sergeants.
He was called Sergeant.
He says sergeant in human, like in common.
Oh.
So all of you hear the word sergeant. So he doesn't say like the hobgoblin word for sergeant. He says sergeant.
The human one.
So he knows a little bit of common.
Or he assumes
That's
that
what- that's
that
what-
common,
Is a
that
name.
word
Yeah.
is his name. Yeah, I mean, Greyash, you would guess that he probably just assumes that the word, the title, is the human's name.
What does the beautiful one want to do? What's her plans? They're gonna kill us all in our sleep.
He says, "Not no. We build. We make strong the moat house for temple to north."
The moat house defends the temple.
Yeah,
Next to
part of temple, but farther south. Small part. We here to raid, take things, supply temple.
temple to what?
The temple to elemental evil.
when he says elemental evil, does Sir Roderick like perk up?
I mean, he
No.
doesn't. You know what? Actually, that might be another word he would say in common. I would say elemental evil. It probably is like temple of in Hobgoblin, but then it probably says in common, it would be elemental evil. So you would hear those words because it's a human name, you know? So like, yeah, you all kind of hear that, like, you know, it's really guttural and like it sounds like a beast is saying it, but
Yeah, once there's that line of questioning, I'll say is like they're just hired to reinforce the moat house. But the moat house is apparently part of the temple that's further north. A temple to elemental evil.
Oh yes, I will perk up. By the way.
Does anyone here know of a temple to the north of the moat house? I'll say out to the town in general.
The elder says, "Aye, yes. A decade ago, the Temple of Elemental Evil. Many fought against it." And Rufus says, Burns says, yes. This is the temple that Rufus and I fought against years ago. It was sealed. It
Not
disturbs
sealed
me
enough, it
greatly.
seems. Not sealed enough, it seems. These creatures work for what they call the Beautiful One. We assume is Lolth.
Can I use local history to see if I can recall anything that maybe the clergy in Burbank may have said about this area and the temple?
Yeah, sure.
15 and made it 17 charisma. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, like there's a decade ago, basically there was this great evil that arose, the Temple of Elemental Evil, known as the Temple of Elemental Evil. It arose in this region, and a number of kind of like local heroes and the population gathered together and fought it off. Even the Viscount of Verbalbank sent men. They fought it off. They cleared it all out. They sealed it all up. And it's basically been, overgrowing for the last decade. Same thing with the Moat House. The Moat House was really was the last sort of bastion. A number of when the temple was destroyed and sealed, some of the denizens escaped and went down to the Moat House. Eventually they were overrun as well, I'm not going to say it was Rufus and Byrne, but there was supposedly a wizard and a barbarian who were a part of it, and they were known to have settled in Hommlet after their adventures at the Moat House. But yeah, that's basically it.
As I recall this information, I'll just relate that to everyone.
Is there a leader of a town guard here? Is that a thing in this town? Do they have a
Well, he called himself Justice of the Peace, so technically he's like the head of the militia. Or, well, he's not really the head of the militia. No, he's the lead judge. That's not right. He is the captain of the local militia is there's a captain of the local militia. I'm going to say you saw him. An elderly man. Seems friendly with Elmo. He didn't come in here because he was directing the militia to deal with all of the issues that were still, population control, all that kind of stuff outside.
Okay. I'll say to him, do you have people that watch who enters and leaves towns, wagons, traders? These gnolls enter town in a wagon. They were let in.
The elder says, this isn't a police state. We don't check every cart and wagon that comes into town.
It's understandable.
He says, we are a peaceful people.
Well,
he says, maybe we should be tightening things up a little bit. Maybe we should Maybe those who are of the town should be the ones enforcing things. And he looks pointedly over at Byrne. He says, and Byrne says, well, maybe if you were able to handle everything here, I wouldn't need to make a militia force now, would I? And then they kind of go back and start going back and forth, like arguing with each other a bit.
It's like now is not the time for this squabbling.
Rufus says,
temple.
yes, exactly. It's not time for this kind of squabbling now, Elder.
Well, is there a teamster here, or does everyone in town own a wagon?
Maybe we can find this wagon. I doubt they left with it, considering they're all dead.
Well, it's nowhere near the tavern, or we'd have seen it in all the commotion. So whoever dropped them off took the wagon back. I don't know how many. I'm new to town. I don't know how many wagons or merchants are in town. So it can't be that many. I don't think I've seen that many since I've been here.
He says the traders are the ones who would be most likely to sell you a wagon.
So they have spare wagons?
He says, hold on. He says, but the Carter, he says Carter, the teamster, is in fact, who would sell mostly to the locals. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, he is a follower of your faith.
Really?
He says, but you have no reason to suspect him, and I won't have you going and asking and harassing the citizens.
Well, of course I'm not going to ask him. He's a follower of St. Cuthbert. He wouldn't loan out a wagon to someone evil enough to bring a group of gnolls in to attack a tavern in the middle of a village. But
That's right.
I think we need to at least go search the wagons at the trading post. Maybe they've had one stolen. We should probably check into that.
I'll ask the Gnoll, is like, was anything in the wagon with you?
He says, he says, my brothers, all dead. Now I, Chief. You let me go now. You let me go now. I answer questions. Free me.
We'll see.
I'm gonna put my hand on his shoulder and just kind of force him down to his knees and say, well, this is sort of your trial right now. And I can promise you, once the verdict is given for your lawless act, I will personally free you.
Well, he looks at you like in confusion, and he looks up at you, Grey Ash. What men say?
He says, after the trial, this is the trial against you, and after he says that he will personally free you after the verdict.
Right, his eyes open up, and he seems eager. Yes.
I'll say in commons, like, the Gnoll is begging for its freedom, thinking these answers are enough for his life.
The elder laughs. Stupid beast, he says under his breath.
Yeah, you might want to explain to him that, I'll free him from the bonds of this earth once he's found guilty of his atrocity.
Do you want me to explain that?
Tell him if he works to the God, he better start praying to him.
Yeah.
Tell him that.
The old elder says, you've had enough time now. Come.
Yes.
He's guilty.
I don't think there's much more we can
know
ask
this.
them. I'll say to the Gnoll, thank you for answering the questions. Bow your head in forgiveness for your freedom.
Make a charisma check.
God damn it, that's my shit.
Yeah, you're lucky I'm not giving you a penalty on that, but he's super intimidated right now.
It's the wrong dice. I rolled a 15 instead of 8.
All right, he kind of looks up at you, and he looks around, and he feels, he understands what's about to happen, so he tries to get away. Let me go ahead and see if he can break his bonds. And he cannot. He's trying so hard to break free, but he cannot break free. But he's like
so cute when they have hope.
but he's like moving wildly.
I just say that. I think that's all we got. A nod to Roderick Otectron.
Yeah, the elder says, "Do it and be done with it." Burns says, I must agree this time. For once with the elder. Put him out of his misery.
So the verdict is guilty.
Do you have
Yes,
an
he's
area for
guilty.
such things?
He says, let us take him to the town center. The people will wish that is what is to happen.
Okay.
All right, so we'll come back in just a second. As you're gonna take him to the town's center, JB. You're moving, flitting through the shadows, following the fat man as he moves to the You see him moving to the traders building, but he doesn't actually go inside. He goes around the back, where you see a hooded man in leather armor throwing some, like, packing a horse, getting ready to get up on a horse.
Can I get close enough to hear anything they might be saying?
Go ahead and do a hear noise.
That's right, I have that, don't I? Ooh,
Yes,
I
and you
haven't-
almost never use it. And I'll be like, they're whispering, and you never listen.
All right.
Hear noise is
see.
actually one of my favorite things. It's one of the few abilities by a thief that remains important and powerful, like even far into the game, like even at higher levels and stuff, because it's instantaneous.
I needed a 15. I rolled a 14.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
I need to power this up then.
Yeah, it's pretty good. So you it's pretty quiet this far north of town, because like most people are either are out, like a lot have gone to the center of town or they're sleeping. So you're able to hear them. And the fat man says, "They've gone now. They've got one of the gnolls, and they brought him to the town center to question him. Can't be said whether or not he'll break, but it seems one of them speaks the language." And the man in the cowl says, I'll as I pass by the moat house, I'll make a stop by the moat house to warn them before I head up to Nulb. And he nods and he says, the fat man nods. He says, "The temple will not be pleased by this." And he says, he shrugs and he says, the hooded man shrugs and says, "We've done our part. We got the Gnolls in, didn't we? Just because they couldn't finish the job doesn't mean that that we're responsible for their failure. And he says, try telling that to the priests. He says, perhaps you're right. Maybe it's time for us to move on. The fat man says, part of me wishes that the temple had never reemerged. We had a good thing going here. The hooded man says, no use worrying about that. They've paid us as well as any.
Can we call that hooded man Jake?
Sure.
Jake and the fat
Jake
man.
and the fat man.
I approve.
And the fat man says, anyway, be on your way. I'm sure they'll be here soon. I'll do whatever I can to deflect their attention. And the hooded man extends a hand and he says, Gremag, it has been a pleasure working with you. If we don't make it out of this. And the fat man says, Ranos, to you I say the same. And then they kind of like, give a shake like that. And the hooded man jumps up on his horse and, heads off into the night. The fat man moves over to the front of the traders and unlocks it and heads in, closes the door behind him.
All right. I am going to head on back to the town hall. Or back to where my guys are. So if they're already on their way out, then I'll just meet them where they are.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking this might be kind of timing might work out nice.
Yeah.
So Ren, suddenly the door opens up behind you and Rufus has been telling you like the same story over and over again, like any drunk adventurer would. And every time the telling happens, like, he killed more people, he found more treasure, and Burn did less. But the door opens behind you, the double doors open behind you as they're leading the Gnoll out. At this point, JB, you kind of have headed back into town. You can see like there's like a hubbub happening. Most of the townsfolk had actually kind of gathered around the exterior of the town hall because they saw that everybody went in there, and whispers and rumors had gone through the entire town. The gathering that there was about to be something that a decision was going to be made about the fate of the Gnoll. The elder says a few words to the captain, who rushes up to him, who nods and embarks a couple of orders, and a sort of like a crude stage is constructed at the center of town. And before you know it, the Gnoll is let out, with your help, to that sort of crude stage at the center of town. People are like yelling and spitting.
Is there about what time is it?
Like about midnight. Nah, it's probably later than that because you guys were already asleep. So
yeah,
I'd say
it was
maybe
about
like
midnight when we all crashed out. So I'd say probably 2 or 3 in the morning.
Yeah, that's fair. It's in that range, yeah. Still like middle of the night, but not,
Okay, I'm gonna stay as far away from that crowd as possible.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm still outside the hall. I'm kind of looking in that direction, but I'm not going with the mob.
Actually, Burn and Rufus. Burn stays back with Rufus as well. And he said, and Burn. You hear Burn say to Rufus, "Is like, just another spectacle. It's just as bad as a big city. Satisfying the mob."
I'm only staying close enough that I can hear the Gnoll if it says anything, but no closer than that.
Brother Rygar, are you escorting the Gnoll to the stage?
Yeah, since no one else is, I will.
I'm going. I'm helping you escorting.
Okay. So Roderick,
Can I jump in here for a second?
of course, yeah.
As I see them pulling the Gnoll to the stage, I'm going to sidle up next to Brother Rygar and ask if they were able to learn anything. Then
Well,
I
we
assume
did-
he's going to say yes.
We did learn quite a bit, yes.
Did he mention the moat house? Now I'm talking low, so just he can hear me. I don't trust Roderick.
There's plenty there's plenty of noise that you can
Okay.
do that.
Yeah, he mentioned the moat house.
Good. When this is done, we got to talk.
All right, so essentially, Brother Rygar
And I'm
Sir
going.
Roderick.
I'm going to bring Ren, Greyash, and Tuctrin up to speed on that as well. I just wanted to make sure, since I didn't hear any of the interrogation, I wanted to make sure they got something out of him before they kill him.
Right.
And I'll let
Yeah.
the rest of the party know we have things to discuss. There's a lot of feelings happening.
So Roderick and Brother Rygar, the two of you go with the Gnoll up onto the stage with the village elder and a couple of the militiamen. The captain is there. He's an older man. Let's see here. Actually, all of you can make an intelligence check. Every one of you.
Natural one.
Nope.
Got a 1.
Oh wow, 2 1s.
11. I got it.
I got an 11. I failed.
All
Got
right,
a 12, I made it.
if you made it, you're able to recognize that the captain of the militia and Elmo, like, they're obviously related. Like the captain of the militia's Elmo's father. You can see the resemblance. They're basically the same. He's a big man. He's older, but he's big, just like Elmo is. And led up to the platform, and the village elder raises his hand, quiet everybody down, and he says, "We have held a trial. As you would expect, this foul creature has been found guilty of crimes against our town, of murder, and of disrupting the peace that we have held so dear here in Hommlet. For these crimes, he will be executed." And the crowd's kind of cheering, and some people they're not really they're throwing stuff, but they're not really throwing it up onto the stage because the elder's up there. But they're spitting mad, basically, the crowd. And the militia's kind of being forced to kind of keep them at bay. They're having a little bit of trouble keeping the people at bay, say. You notice that there's a number of Burns Badgers amongst the crowd, but they're not actually helping to hold the crowd back. And he says, "Sir Roderick, a follower of the god Saint Cuthbert, has made a vow to exact justice." And he kind of He says, I turn it over to you, to Sir Roderick, knight from Verbabank.
At this point, I'm going to extol the crowd on the virtues of lawfulness and justice, and let them know that in small villages like this, all across the land, we cannot allow beasts like this into our cities to bring chaos and destruction, and that this beast and others like him deserve this punishment, and I will prepare to mete it out. And I'll draw my sword.
And I have this document. It's called the Patriot Act, which will give broad powers within the town of Hommlet. No, okay, so go ahead and do your business. Maybe you describe kind of what you do.
Yeah, I'll just kick him behind the knees, drop him down to his knees, and stand back, grab my longsword with two hands, and decapitate him.
Yeah, he's resigned. Just roll the hit. Don't roll a 1. I mean, you're not gonna but if you mess up, you might have to hack him a couple times.
16. I hit it.
Okay, yeah, you do it clean.
If you roll a 1, your sword breaks and you have to use a handsaw.
You have to use a spoon.
Because it'll hurt more.
Yeah. So I'm going to narratively kind of move this along a little bit here. So the man is killed, and the crowd is like appeased and horrified kind of simultaneously. And there's a lot of activity, in the town square there, but ultimately things kind of are, essentially things are over. So things kind of start wrapping up. The crowd starts getting dispersed. Like, okay, it's all done. Like the militia starts dispersing the crowd. The elder encourages everybody to go home and get rest and know that the town is, that peace has been restored, blah, 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 all that kind of stuff. And many of the townsfolk are, counting you as heroes, particularly you, Sir Roderick, as a bringer of justice, a defender of Hommlet, all of that kind of stuff. And Canon Turjon and Assistant Canon Kalmar are taking full advantage of your speech, in extolling the virtues of St. Cuthbert amongst the crowd, and consoling those who need it, and basically saying, come to the service, and basically getting on the holy day and all of this kind of stuff. But eventually everything kind of disperses, and the elders drawn away by various folks. Byrne and Rufus are drawn away, and you kind of just find yourself amongst your party once more. What would you like to do?
I'm going to tell the party that the fat man sold the town out.
Who was the fat? Oh, not the fat man.
The fat man, Greyhawk, is what Jake called him, and Jake's name apparently is Rennis.
Was Rennis wearing a hood?
Yeah, yes, he was. I saw him get up on a horse and head out. He said he was going to the moat house, and that he assumed we were going to be following behind, and he'd make sure they were ready for us.
The Gnoll spoke of him.
Awesome. They both talked about the temple. So they're involved in the temple, whatever the temple is.
It's the Temple of Elemental Evil. It's north of the moat house.
Ooh,
And
what a
part of
techie
it.
name.
I know.
Pete, I just want to clarify a detail that you heard that you might not have picked up just because it's such a weird town name, but you did hear he was going to head to Nulb.
Head to Nulb, yes.
Yeah.
I posted my transcript of the conversation
Okay.
in the Zoom chat, so that's right there.
Oh yeah. Oh God, look at this. This is awesome.
Yeah. So yeah, Jake said as he passes by the moat house, he'll warn them before it heads up to Nulb. So
No, isn't that the city where Otis, a brother of Elmo, resides?
I believe so.
Yeah. Well,
It might behoove us to head up
yeah,
there and
Nulb.
give them a heads up as well.
mhm.
Yeah, we were told we could trust Otis,
And the
or
Nulb
we
is
were told that we
dangerous.
should be able to trust Otis.
Mhm.
So
Yes, apparently.
have they left? Should we attempt to intercept them, or do we?
The
Rest.
fat man hasn't left. He's back inside the trading post. But Jake has already left. He was on horseback. I was not going to be able to follow him, so I figured let me come back and get you guys up to speed.
I'll describe the other man who was with the fat man. I said, does anyone know this gentleman who was with the obese man earlier? And I'll describe what I saw.
I mean, that sounds exactly who you saw.
The guy with the hood.
JB, yeah.
Yeah, that's the guy who got up on the horse and left. Fat man called him Ranos.
Ranos.
Mhm.
Well, I suggest
think
we
we
can
should-
confront this fat man. I assume he is the trader at the trading post.
He is. He does work at the trading post. I believe he's one of the proprietors.
Is there another proprietor?
I think so.
There was another person in there with him when we visited before. There was always a counter person and him sitting in the back.
The physical
Right.
description sounds like it's probably the same guy, like in terms of build and stuff.
Did we bring some officials with us? They've already exceeded one tonight.
Do you trust them? Because here's my question. These guys are affiliated somehow with the moat house. We brought some prisoners back from the moat house that I believe ended up getting chain ganged into Burns Badgers. Are Burns Badgers compromised? Can we trust them? Can we trust Burn? Because I don't know if we can anymore.
I don't trust him.
I didn't sense any evil from Burn.
Yeah, but what do you
Okay.
know?
Quite a lot in that area. Should I demonstrate?
No, we don't have time for you to use your make believe powers. We've got to go find some. We've got to go talk to.
I'm going to step back and I'm going to just look at the group and detect evil.
Radiating. No.
Someone else evil?
Not radiating evil on my end.
Mhm.
Not me.
No. None
As
of
I
us are
look
high
through,
enough
I'll-
level
I'll-
to radiate
I'll-
alignment.
I will
You'd be
point
level
at,
6 or something.
I will point at people who I consider unevil in this party.
Well, the ability is specifically detect evil intent, which nobody in your
Okay.
party is currently planning anything evil. So it's not like that because JB is an evil alignment
Is
that
it-
he doesn't have any intent of evil.
Isn't that
towards
one?
you.
Isn't that one both? I'm not sure. It's evil and evil intent, I believe. I'm not sure.
But you still need to be like 6th level to have an aura. Low level characters don't get that.
Let's see.
Paladin.
What level spell is that? Detect evil.
It is.
It might be both. It does say that. It says a paladin can detect the presence of evil intent up to 60 feet away by concentrating on locating evil in particular direction. He can do this as often as desired, but each attempt takes 1 round. This ability detects evil monsters and characters. So it's like it's one of again.
Is that in the player's? Is that in the player's handbook?
That's the player's handbook description exactly. So I think this is another one of those where it's like a little bit ambiguous, but
now I do know that the player's handbook had this little thing that you could kind of gauge the degrees of evil in it. Let me see if I can find it.
Maybe he just doesn't know Roderick well enough to trust him.
Oh yeah, here it is. Let's see. Feint, such as a pickpocket or a non-evil bully. I would sense a slight itch on the tips of my fingers, a light throb behind the eyes. Moderate, a mugger, a skeleton created by an evil cleric or an imp or a typical orc. Pinpricks along the fingers, dull pounding behind the eyes. Strong, a mass murderer, a ghoul, a vampire. Pinpricks over the entire surface of hands, intense pounding hurts the eyes. An overwhelming, a venerable red dragon, a lich, a vampire mage, sharp pain in hands, agonizing headache.
Does it act as the pre-spell detect evil?
I don't know what the player's handbook says on that I don't have it right in front of me. But I think it's one of those that kind of does both. And yeah, it's one of those confusing things, but I can never find the paladin here.
In the paladin's handbook, it seems to imply to me that you have, it says the paladin sensitivity, it says the paladin's sensitivity to evil responds to the target's intention to commit an evil act. And then it says, like, as David was describing, that higher level characters like always radiate evil because they're like higher level evil characters because essentially because they've like it says characters are strongly aligned who not stray from their faith and are of at least 9th level might radiate evil if intent upon appropriate actions just because they're evil. I mean, I still think you would get something though. I mean, yeah. I think it might be more like
it would be like probably a
small.
feint.
Yeah, I would say you're getting something faint from JB, but that's not really a surprise. Like, even just being around JB, like
I'm a half
he's not hiding that.
I'm
really.
Not that. I'm just drawn that way.
Yeah,
it's just not really a surprise to you, I guess, is what it would say. He's not like, he's not giving off any vibes of like, mass murder or anything like that. Whereas like Brother Rygar though is like you're sort of like, Brother Rygar, Ren, and Tuctrin are pretty much all three. Tuctrin's good, right? Is Tuctrin good?
I'm neutral good.
Yes, Tuctrin is lawful good.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So, but I think Tuctrin, Ren, and Rygar, but they're good, and they are good in a very their ethos are very strongly rooted in good. Like Ren is of the forest and the good aspects of it. Tuctrin is a lawful good warrior, holy warrior essentially for the dwarves, and Brother Rygar is obviously a priest of Nola. So I mean, he's like, you're not telling. I mean, you can't tell alignment through this, but you like, like there's a cleanliness about them.
Yeah, I'm about as close to a dwarven paladin equivalent as you can really get.
Yeah, I mean, essentially is a dwarven paladin. That's what it is. I mean, in my mind, I've always sort of thought of that. The champion is like the dwarven paladin, equivalent of the dwarven paladin in a lot of ways. I mean, this even has a blessed weapon.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I can easily point out that there's the one guy who's got the disturbing quirks in the party, and I barely know him. Actually, I've
Yeah.
I sat down at a table and I could just tell him that. I could say, this is the only guy with any evil quirks about him, and I won't say exactly what level of evil because I'm not sure, but
Yeah, the ability does not reveal the precise nature of the intended act, nor does it reveal the target's actual alignment.
yeah,
Characters who are strongly aligned, like Greyhawk said, or at least 9th level, may radiate evil.
Yeah.
So yeah, if he's not intending any evil, then.
But I can also detect alignment. Like I said, he's got a quirk about him that he will step over the line if he wants to. Well, the rest of you seem to be clean to me. But of course, he's nowhere near what I got off of
of trusting the town. We need to trust someone.
He's nowhere near what I felt from the fat man and his friend.
Not even close. Like, yeah, the fat man,
or
like
the
you
Gnoll,
were,
for that matter.
I mean, you had the feeling like those two people wanted to do bad things. What exactly that was, you're not sure, but you definitely felt like they wanted to do bad things.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They did not have the best interest in those around them, I'll say.
It's too bad we don't have the old first edition alignment languages.
It was like the stupidest thing, but like,
yeah, it was dumb because it's your morality in your center, but you get
the degree of feint is like a pickpocket or a non-evil bully, which JB's kind of a non-evil bully.
I mean, he's evil technically, but I think it's more selfish than anything. So I think that's what I'm feeling too.
That is true.
Slight itch on the tips of fingers, light throb behind the eyes for the paladin.
Yeah.
It's funny because this is a first edition module, so they do mention the alignment languages a couple of times, like about like certain things which we're not doing. But I'm like, I don't know, it's just kind of a funny throwback.
Yeah, those were dumb, but.
I still feel
so what
we
would you like to do?
Some member of town that is in charge be with us, to not act as vigilantes, but if
I don't know
if you think we should not trust anyone,
I'm
then
just saying I trust y'all.
I
would say maybe I'd feel comfortable bringing Elmo and his dad with us. I trust them.
I would have to go to the temple
if we tend to leave that place with his head.
I would have to go to the temple and see if I could find something there that would tell me the precise laws on such issues, so I could make a determination. But nothing says we can't aggressively question them.
At 3 a.m. in the morning. Ish.
Well,
I mean, we know he's up.
It's only fair.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I wouldn't mind going right up there.
You should be happy we're not setting fire to his house as we do so.
But I
don't be hasty.
But he could resist us, which would probably not go well. And I think before we head out of town, we need to it would be prudent to at least get fully rested, healed, and get our gear together.
Before we go out of town, I agree. But before Homeboy has a chance to get rid of anything incriminating or plan himself a cover story in case he's asked about his buddy, we should talk to him now.
I say take the father. Elmo's drunk. If you're going to take a town, they're town elders, I consider. Is that what you're saying?
Well, Elmo's father appears to be the captain of the guard.
I wouldn't even bother with Elmo. He's too drunk to even worry about. He wouldn't make a good town witness if something went awry anyway. Let's go ask the captain. Just to have a town witness to where we're not doing anything bad to this known merchant of the town. Was it ever mentioned that merchant building had that bandit marking over it? Did Ren or any? Did you finally mention that to us?
Gray seen it. He pointed it out to me. This was a while back. We never followed up on it. I don't remember if we told anybody else about it. Right?
Was marked on the map. I would hear. What does that mean? That mark you're talking about?
Yeah, they have. The bandits had a stone with an eye marked on it, and that same eye was marked on the sign outside the trading post, like subtly. There's already suspicion on the trade house for working with the people that originally attacked us.
What was
they're
done
just
with
dicks.
What was done with the bodies of the humans that raided us?
Don't eat the stew smell.
Yeah, they were taken. Actually, they were probably taken to the temple of St. Cuthbert for preparation, and I mean, like, I don't know what else they would be done. I mean, I don't know. Maybe, you know what? Actually, no, I don't know that they would. Maybe they just
roll them into a grave somewhere.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering too. I mean,
strip the valuables to give to the poor and cremated.
Well, I think if these other ones had stones, maybe these guys got some kind of marking in their gear. I know we've got the gold and silver off of them, but did anyone search for any markings on them?
Then if you want to roll in post, if we check this.
I was too busy bleeding.
Yeah.
Doctrine was too, I'm sure.
I'm gonna follow the stench of bodies, I guess, and I'm gonna head that direction. Whether it be up toward the temple or whatever. Maybe there's a hole out that they're just gonna dump them in near the temple. I'm gonna go check those bodies, and I'm gonna see if I can consult the law. But I think we have grounds if we can connect them with this symbol that they like to have hidden.
Where are we talking? Are we back at the Welcome Winch, or
we're kind of standing in between the winch and the village hall, because we a couple guys' rooms is burnt to ash. I guess we could go inside and see if they got another room for everyone.
Well, technically, we know the dude's in cahoots.
Yeah,
and we have some of them stones.
Yeah, we are based on the interrogation y'all had with the Gnoll and what I overheard. We know that they're in cahoots. We just don't have any hard evidence. But we are the heroes of Hommlet, so our word should mean something.
That's true. I think
they just gave you a title. The town just gave you a title, Sir Roderick.
I think we have enough to question them aggressively. I don't know where the guard captain's home is, but I'm sure a guard who's wandering the streets would be able to tell us.
Things are kind of winding down, but yeah, there's probably a few guards that are going to be, up all night. The bodies are being buried in the field it's kind of south of the Druids Grove. Let's see if I can get you maybe indicated on the map. Let's see.
I don't even remember where the Druids Grove was.
Yes.
I thought it was to the north.
I know, I screwed up on that. I did say it was to the north because the map is cut right in the middle, and the Druids Grove is exactly at where the cut in the map is. So it's like I couldn't find it anywhere, so I just assumed it would be like on the outskirts of town, but it's actually kind of in the center of town.
What?
Yeah, I know. The Druids Grove is actually right there. It's not far from the end of the Welcome
we-
Winch.
If it was daylight, we could see it from here.
Can you guys see where I'm pinning?
Yeah,
pinning
yeah,
the
yeah.
map?
Yeah. I did.
Yeah.
So like if you were to go straight south from that, like and there's like a field, there's 2 fields and there's like grass in between it. Basically, they're gonna like
Right in here.
bury them like right here. No,
Okay.
just straight south, yeah. Like
All
over
right.
in that area. Or like digging a pit for these guys.
I'll go that direction.
And
Will.
the and then
Fertilize the farmland there.
yeah. Unmarked graves.
So the grove is almost in the center of town.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy, right? It's weird, but I don't know, man.
Maybe
What
that's
it
the
is.
old. Maybe that's the old faith that everybody.
Yeah, and maybe it was there long before the town or not.
Well, the
know, before it
Cuthbert
was
Temple
rearranged.
is new, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yep.
Yeah, I'll head that direction and to search the bodies real quick.
All right, why don't we take a short break? We're more than halfway through the session, so why don't we take a 5-minute break? I'll say 50 minutes. We'll say a little bit later, a little bit longer, but we'll say 50 minutes past the hour. We'll all come back. Yeah, we'll take a short break. All right.
Sounds
Okay.
good.
So you get my stuff I sent you about the dog, the Mastiff?
Yeah.
I was actually thinking about it because it's a first edition thing, and proficiencies didn't really come into play until Unearthed Arcana, and I was thinking it actually would probably give you a +1 to tracking as well, because I think that would just make sense. Like,
yeah, well,
didn't have it.
If I was using the dog, I can understand that. Now, I was thinking of the, just the passive perception of the dog itself.
Yeah.
Like, even though I might not notice something, that the dog might smell something, hear something.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's a thing that's going to happen, but I'll just have to remember it. You know what I mean?
Same here.
I mean,
I'm thinking more for like if we're camping and maybe one of our watch didn't, the dog might see something or hear something.
I mean, the dog can take a shift.
Yeah. Now, if I'm hunting with the dog, I can understand that, but
I mean, I think there's a lot of ways, because it's funny because I was reading about
as long as the dog knows what a tick is, because I don't want to get attacked by a tick again. That's it. A damn tick.
That tick messed you up, man. Why are you still in black and white, by the way?
I have no clue. I've looked through my
tick.
settings or whatever. I have no idea.
That's so funny, man. It's so weird.
I can't even figure out how to fix it unless I reset everything, and then
who knows? You might unfix it. You may never use Zoom again if you try to mess with it. This is fun, you guys. I'm always surprised at how much. I mean, you guys do a lot of good role playing. I never really think about it, but you really are getting into all of the behind the scenes stuff of the town, which is like, I love that stuff. But I wasn't going to force you in that direction, But you're really intense on unraveling the mysteries of like what's going on, and I really like that, because I mean, we've basically had one excursion to the moat house, and everything else has been
moat house, the wyverns,
and then
I mean, it helped that Zert betrayed us from the start, so now everyone's a suspect.
Yeah. And we I can't remember where the two other guys just ran off to.
I don't think we didn't find them, did we? They just ran.
No, they just ran. I don't know if they got any information. Don't know.
If your gods are just, they're dead.
Now, I know I think a while back about this. Oh, shoot. The trading posts. I think me and Gray really did want to go back there, but I think just things got away from that.
A lot of stuff started happening. You got kind of swept up in everything that was happening. I mean, that's the way it works,
We know we went in there the one time, or probably a few times by now, but then they're just always been dicks, just especially towards the non-humans.
Yep, especially towards the non-humans. All right, so I know Sir Roderick is going to head down to where the bodies are being buried and burned. What about the rest of y'all?
Gonna go have a chat with Homeboy.
All right, so you're heading to the trader.
Yeah, you're going. Well, okay, then we're not gonna wait.
No.
All right, Jay. I got your back.
I'll tag along.
I am going to try to find a place where I can sleep.
Yeah,
you're screwed
up.
Right, I'm gonna grab my bag, because when I jumped out of the window with my bag, make sure I have all my collected stuff. Try to find some place to rest.
Oh, I give you the key to my room,
and maybe something to eat.
Yeah, I gave you the key to my room. If they'll welcome, you can go up there and rest in my room.
Yeah, how much of the building got burned down?
It's really only that one corner, but Osler is horrified at what has happened to you, and he is, when you return and you're obviously under the weather, he and and his wife and his good wife and his two daughters, and they all like kind of dote on you to like get you a new room, get you food, like they get you all set up. In fact, yeah, and so you get all of that. You get food, you get a nice room with a fireplace. They like, they'll get you a bath if you want it, and all of that.
I'm doing all that. I gotta rest up here.
Yeah, the good wife takes care of you, and like even though she's like tired, like you essentially like nearly died kind of defending the inn. So they take care of you. And
how many more hit points do you need?
All of them, pretty much.
Well, I used as many spells as I could. I need. I'm down 8 right now, so it's not. Yeah.
Just 8.
I held him for 5 more.
Okay, because I used all my spells, healing myself, and then a couple I did to Brother Rygar, so I'm out of magic until I get some rest. So
yeah, I'm down to 1 first level, 1 second level spell.
Yeah, so I'm gonna eat and I'm gonna rest up a little bit. If anybody needs me, they know where I'm at. Or if I get assassinated again, either one.
It could go both ways. It's the night, night's young. What about Grey Ash? What's Grey Ash up to? Because Brother Rygar, Ren, and JB are heading up to the traders. And Sir Roderick is heading down to the bodies.
Jeez. I'll go with Roderick. I don't want them to be by themselves, I guess.
Okay. So, you go down there, and there's a couple of militiamen standing around, kind of watching the scene. But there's a couple of townsfolk laborers and a couple of the Undertaker's men. They're like digging a hole, basically. There's like the bodies are like laying there. And sure enough, the 2 human guardsmen, while their clothes are a little torn up and cut, they do have they have tunics and cloaks in all black with gold eyes of fire embroidered on them.
Okay, well, I'll take a tunic and a cloak. Just strip it off of them.
Yeah, they're pretty torn up.
Beef.
But I'll make sure that I can find one that's in the symbol is in pretty good shape.
Yeah, well, like one of the militiamen, you come up and is like, Roderick, hey, good to meet you. Name's Jack. This is my buddy Bill. Appreciated what you had to say, what you did. He spits down at one of the bodies of the gnolls that's sitting there. Can't wait to get these things buried in the ground. Get rid of the smell.
Yeah,
Bill
I'm
says,
gonna need to search those also real quick. I'm looking for this symbol. Maybe you could help. I'll describe the symbol.
Yeah, and sure enough, you find a couple more of these stones. So they're like about palm-sized stones, on which are this eye symbol, with like a tear. And in fact, John, you joined the campaign late, but if you look in the Roll20, you can see that there's a handout there that says Flaming Eye. And they have these stones
Okay.
Oh no, no, I'm sorry, not flaming eye. The handout.
That's what's on the cloak, right? The
Yeah,
flaming eye.
it says
Eye with tear.
eye with the tear.
Handout A, yeah.
Yeah.
So there's a little bit of a difference,
Mm-hmm. Sure is.
but there's a whole lot of similarity also.
Mm-hmm.
Well, also, okay, yeah, I can see how they may be connected.
Do you have
Okay, it's
religion?
an elemental. No, I do not.
Okay. Yeah, you were just starting to say elementals,
Yeah,
and I'll let you make your own,
Yeah, I
draw
was
your own
thinking-
conclusions.
yeah. I don't know which elements, but there's definitely a water fire thing going on here.
Seems like the evidence we came here for.
Yeah, it could be a definite tie to this temple of evil and the moat house and our trader friends.
Hmm.
Hey, Jack, you know where your watch captain is at the moment?
He was at the center of town, I think. Bill says, well, knowing him, he's probably done with his work and get himself a tasty beverage in the into the welcome wench. And he says, I
All
think
right.
you mean Elmo, the other one says, and they both laugh.
Yeah, I'll check out the tavern. Spread the word that if he's not there, maybe you could have him meet me at the trading post. If I don't find him first. And I guess I'll
send the message. Bill like extends a hand out to you, like to shake your hand.
I'll shake his hand.
Okay. All right. Meanwhile, Brother Rygar, Ren, and JB, you head up to the trader's spot, and all is basically quiet. I mean, there's a couple of people who are like, that you've seen like as you headed to the north, that were headed towards their houses. How are you approaching the trader's place?
Walk right up to the front door.
Yeah. Is there a light inside?
Nope.
Light on?
No,
Light's
it's
not on.
dark.
So I'm going there. So we're going to follow him in.
So Ren, you knock on the door.
I knock on the door.
All right, there's no answer.
All right.
All
And
right.
we open the door.
You open the door.
We open the door.
All right, you open the door.
So the door's
you
not
open
locked?
Nope. JB, you open the door, and you hear a click as you open the door, and you see right on the other side of the door is a contraption that's been set up with a crossbow on it, and the crossbow fires an arrow right at you, and it plunges into your chest. Make a saving throw versus poison.
Oh Lord.
Of course.
AB.
You're gonna learn them
Every
things
time.
skills one way or the other, aren't you?
Detect traps. Look around.
I was waiting for the thing to be locked.
Yeah. That's why I asked, was it locked?
13. So versus poison is 13.
God, you're so fucking lucky, dude. You take 4 points of damage from the the crossbow bolt, and you're like heart skips beat as you look down, you see the arrow, the bolt like sticking out of your chest.
Oh, I'm gonna kill this motherfucker.
Otherwise, it's dark inside, and
Now he's registering evil intent.
Oh shit.
Is it evil if it's justified?
But technically, he probably would have the trap on there no matter what because he's a merchant owner, not just because he thinks you're after him.
No.
Well,
is that what you say out loud?
Me?
What is brother? Yeah, aren't you?
Yeah,
there?
that's what I say. Yeah.
Yeah.
regardless, I'm going to peek inside.
Yeah.
Not step in just yet, but I can see in the dark.
Yeah, so you see like around, it looks the same as it did before. It's pretty cluttered. There's a lot of stuff there because a lot of what they take in is used goods. They have new goods too, but they have lots of used goods, and the shelves are crammed full of like ropes and gear and all that kind of stuff, like all over the place. So it's pretty crowded. Actually, you know what I can do? We can move over to the map. I think I have the trader's map, right?
Well, I'm peeking in the door also. Do I see any other traps? Anything? Mind you, I don't have dark vision.
So that's where the crossbow was. I mean, just look at it. Doesn't seem obvious that there's any other traps.
I'm gonna look for traps.
I'm out of torches. I forgot to get some. So
I got 30% to find and remove traps.
No, wait a second. What am I doing? No, the crossbow's here. What am I talking about? I was clicking on I was looking at the
Is this the door we're entering in right here?
Yeah,
I was looking at the hearth as the door, but I had that wrong. So you enter the door from the south, basically. That's where you saw him go in, and you're gonna check for traps. You can look around the room, and let's see here. Is it 60-foot infravision?
I think so. Actually, since I'm half elf, I think it's 30 foot.
Okay. You're looking around, and there's nothing obvious to you. Well, go ahead and roll the tech traps. Find and remove. Find traps.
5. Made it.
All right. So you see.
Half elf sees 60, by the way.
Oh, cool.
Oh, okay. Actually, you see 3 traps. So you see at the other door, like basically right about there, like you can see another crossbow trap facing that door. And then there's a like just inside the door here, like where you're entering in, there's a line on the ground, like a tripwire, I guess you could say.
Mm-hmm.
Strung between the wall and this table here. I'm not exactly sure what would happen if you tripped the tripwire, but you see one, and then you catch, like in the shimmer on the other side, it appears that there's a trip line that goes from between those tables at the other door as well.
All right. Well, he's got the place booby trapped. We've got a tripwire here, crossbow and tripwire at the other door. So, gentlemen, here's the question. Do we pull the wire and back up and just see whatever damage happens to this guy's place, or do we step around them?
I'd say we set them off from a distance.
Sounds good to me.
I'm fine with that.
Anybody got a 10-foot pole?
You look into the trader shop and you see them for sale.
No, but I've got my 25 feet of rope. Pretty sure I could back up and use that to at least trip the wire. At the very least, the first wire, so we can get in and look around without having to worry about someone stepping on it.
Alrighty. Since he's accident prone, I step a little bit of a way.
Yeah, I will wait.
This is the front door or the back door?
This is, I believe it's the front door.
Yeah,
Okay.
this is the front door.
Looking around, there's nobody watching what we're doing.
No, I mean, it's like the middle of the night,
I'm
like.
Just asking.
Everyone had their excitement and they went back to bed.
Let me see here. You set off the wire. Let's see what happens here. All right, you hit the wire. Well, what are you trying to? I'm sorry. Describe how you're hitting the wire again from a distance.
I've got my 25 feet of rope. I'm going to essentially fold it in half, sort of lasso it, and try to whip the wire from outside the building.
All right, just roll the hit.
Just roll a hit. Three.
All right, so you on the first try, you just like totally miss.
I mean, that's a time to roll a 3. Yeah, I'll try one more time and then we'll just step over it and go in.
All right.
9. I don't know if that hits, but I'm...
I mean, yeah, so like you hit the rope. I mean, you hit the wire and nothing obvious happens.
Is the wire still strung up or did it collapse in?
It's still strung up.
All right.
What's your remove trap skill? By the way.
Actually, oh, that's it. This is find and remove traps. 30%. All right. If I try to remove this trap and I die, y'all better revive
That's what
me.
I was getting ready for.
Just about died, dude. You've made 3 saves versus save or dies. You've made 3 save or dies against poison.
All right. We're going to try to remove this trap.
You should have rolled a dwarf.
Yeah, I should have. 28.
All right, so let's see here. Player character classes here. Okay, well, yeah, so you're able to safely remove the trap, but it's still not evident to you exactly what it does, but it goes into the floor. The wire goes into the floor. It attaches on the wall, goes like around like a couple of like different things, and then goes into a very, very small hole into the floor.
My guess, and I'm saying this out loud to the group, my guess is that this wire and probably the other wire are set up as an alert system for someone who's not in this room if somebody comes in. They open the door, they're fast enough to dodge the crossbow, they step in, they trip over the wire, and immediately they know they're here.
Yeah, so you remove it. I mean, it looks like it's meant to be taken on and off.
Yeah.
Like you see there's like it hooks to the wall, like basically, so you just kind of like unfurl it. But keep the tension so that way it's not like it doesn't set it off, but
No, I'm making the assumption that the crossbows are the booby traps and the wires are the burglar alarm. For all intents and purposes.
so what'd you like to do?
Take
You
a
removed
look
it so you could head in.
Gonna
Well,
hang
you
it-
look around the room and again it's pretty much looks the same as you would expect. You don't see anybody around. The room itself is, again, it's like pretty crowded with stuff, like the shelves and tables and stuff are filled with various equipment. There's like crates and barrels and boxes and sacks and things like that full of stuff. You also know that, of course, that there is a curtain in the rear of the room in the south. I'm sorry, in the northeastern corner of the room, there's a curtain that leads to what you presume is a back room. And other than that, that's pretty much all you see. You don't there's nothing obviously different than what you had seen previously, I guess.
I say we check out behind the curtain.
Yep.
I say someone else goes first this time.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Someone with some
Carefully.
hard armor.
Oh. Heck with it. I'll circle around away from the other trap if JB pointed it out to me.
Yes, it should go without saying, but I did in fact tell my compatriots about all of the traps and where they are.
Yeah. The problem of it is there's no light in here. I can't see.
Yeah,
Nope.
it's very far.
Oh, okay. I've got a light source.
It's
Well,
a
don't you
dim
have
light
light?
source.
Fairy
I
fire
cast
only
it
gives you a...
I cast light already.
Oh, okay. So then it's
That's
very
right,
light
right.
in there. It's
Huh?
bright as day. It's bright as day in that room.
I can't cast light. I cast it at the last game. Remember? Fighting the
I
Gnolls.
thought you said you cast light already, as in you
No.
just cast it when you got here. Fairy fire is a 5-foot radius light.
10 square feet per level, so I can do 30 square feet within a
fairy
40-foot radius. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, where do you cast
I can
it?
outline one or more objects. I could just outline an object like in each corner and one in the middle just to give a faint glow to where he can look.
All right. We'll say it's.
Or I can light one of my torches, but But I think the fairy fire just be enough to where it just shows
it's
just
kinda
a little
like
bit of
gives you-
light.
The light of candlelight. It's not. It's low light. We'll say.
Yeah.
So it effectively makes everybody that doesn't have infravision able to see, sort of, and it ruins JB's infravision.
Thanks.
Well,
But hey, if y'all are gonna go first through there, that's fine.
Yeah. okay, I stand right about here and just yank on the curtain to the side.
Okay, so where is everybody else when you're yanking on the curtain?
I don't
Behind
know.
him.
Yeah, they're definitely
Like,
maybe
I
not
mean,
right
how
behind-
far? How
hopefully
far?
not Scooby Doo behind me.
Scooby Doo behind him.
What does that mean?
Ah,
I'll just be right here by this box
which box?
where I put my
Okay,
character.
right
Yeah.
near the front door.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I got some bad news for you, brother Rygar.
Uh-oh.
Oh my fucking god. All right, brother Rygar, you're like kind of watching. The curtain moves aside, and JB and this is so messed up, man. All right, so JB and Ren, the two of you see like in the room, kind of like a slightly disheveled bedroom, like living quarters. There's a table, there's a couple of beds, there's a hearth, there's a dresser cabinet. It looks like the home, like a home for two people, basically two people probably like live here. It's messy and kind of whatever. And you're kind of looking in that direction a little bit, Brother Rygar, when you feel a blade thrust into your lower back. You just feel like this, like, dagger thrust into your lower back. And I've got some very bad news. You need to make a saving throw. You need to save or die against poison right now.
Oh, no. Damn it.
I know.
You got to roll over or under that?
Over.
Equal to or over.
No, I'm dead. Roll to 5.
Oh, fucking A, man. All right, so you turn to look at this, and you saw this like hazy flash of this like obese man, but it's just a flash. Like he only appears for like the slightest second, like shimmer in the night, and then your vision goes black. Stars close your eyes, and you fall down to the ground, down to your knees, and you look up, and you just see this like, the roof above you seems to morph into this cloudy sky, and the sky opens up before you, and you see this like beaming light of sunlight just shine down onto your form. And then this powerful being of light reaches down. Nola reaches its hand down to you as your spirit sort of extends out from your body, and he grabs you and pulls you up into the afterlife to join him at his side. JB and Ren, you just hear this like kind of crash.
Turn my head. I see what happens, and
you just see Brother Rygar fall to the ground. You don't see anything else. He just falls to the ground, like he crashes into the box like a wooden crate. Their crate goes tumbling to the ground. And he just falls to the ground.
I'll run over and check him.
Yeah, I don't really pay attention for any more traps. I just run right over to him.
Yeah.
Can we do anything?
Run over to check him. Let me see here. Either of you have healing proficiency?
Nope.
No way.
I have forgery.
He's you do. You finally got it. No, he is dead. He's dead. His heart is not beating. You see this like wound in his lower back. Both of you make rolls, surprise rolls, -4.
That's perception?
No, it's a D10.
Okay.
It's modified by your dexterity. So whatever your reaction adjustment is.
Okay.
And then +4. So it'll be like minus something, then plus. Just tell me what your dexterity I can just tell you what your score is.
-4. So it's a wash.
-2.
No, that's not right. That's your dex modifier.
So
it's your reaction adjustment, which should be, I think you have 18.
I have an 18 for dex.
It's
yeah.
+2. So like
True.
essentially what that means is you're only surprised on a 1, but in this case you're -4. So you're surprised on a 1 through 5 on a D10.
Okay. I didn't see.
Does Ren have an 18 dex as well?
Yes.
I did not see
But I rolled a
reaction on
3,
my-
so I'm in the same boat.
I also rolled a 3.
So both of you are surprised.
Yeah.
Oh, fucking A, man. All right, let's see here. Which one of you is the unlucky one? All right, Ren.
I'm always the unlucky one.
No, that would be Brother Rygar right now, unfortunately.
Fair enough.
All right, so that's going to be...
My character's really going to be pissed about that.
9. What's your AC without your dex bonus, Ren?
8.
Oh God! All right, so you feel a dagger slice into your stab into your back. Fortunately, all right. So you take 3 points of damage. You don't have to worry about poison.
Yeah, it's all in me.
You see this like flash of like the fat man appear before you, with like a wicked smile on his face as you're like down there, like over Rygar's body, and then he instantly disappears again. Like he just goes back into invisibility. He seems to have something that's keeping him invisible. Okay, both of you roll initiative now.
Ten.
Oh shoot, I'm forgetting initiative. What rolls that?
It's a D10.
Yeah, I'm rolling a 20 for some dumb reason. Oh. $13.
God, dude. Okay, both of you make a perception check. Do either of you have blind fighting?
No. But I do have my infravision. I don't think that helps.
Does not.
I have
Just made
penny.
it. 17. Just made it.
Your perception is 17?
My perception is 17.
I didn't make it.
All right, so both of you hear sounds of of movement, I guess you might say.
Ooh,
And-
ooh, I have detect noise.
Well, yeah, no, you can't. It's not like detect noise requires like concentration and like
Yeah.
stopping and doing nothing. This is just like an off the cuff, in the
Okay.
moment detecting, hearing the noise. You hear the sounds of movement. You're not exactly sure where the movement is, except for JB. You're able to tell that the movement, the sounds head to the north, like from where you are, right next to Brother Rygar's body. So they like head like basically up this way.
Okay.
And Ren, you're not able to tell which way they go, what the sounds go. What would you like to do, JB, at 10? What are you doing?
Now, when you said the flash of the fat man, did I see that too, or was it just Ren and Brother Rygar when they both got stabbed?
You saw it. It's just a like so when you make an attack, you become very temporarily invisible.
Okay.
I mean visible. And you just saw that like the moment that he like kind of stabbed into Ren's back or Ren's side, you saw him appear momentarily.
I'm not sure how this is going to work, but I'm going to take a handful of coins and throw them to the north and see if something hits something. Like in the direction of the noise. Am I making sense?
Yeah, I kind of love that idea. Roll to hit.
On high. 13.
13. Okay. Yeah, like it appears to you that like it's kind of moving, but like a couple of the like there seems to be something in this area, like up in the corner, the northwest corner of the building. Unfortunately, that's your action.
Okay.
Ren, make another perception check.
Nope.
All right. So you don't see the coins bounce off of the figure. What would you like to do, Ren?
Well, I can't see anything or whatever. I'm trying to drag my boy out of there.
Okay, so you're essentially fleeing.
Well,
Yeah, you're grabbing the body and running the fuck out of there.
Yeah. The only thing I can think of is get him to the temple, but whether it works or not.
It's worth a shot. All right, so you grab the body and you go running, hauling ass out of there, which you can do. So you do that and you go running off. JB? You see the figure flash again from that corner. Briefly, crossbow in hand, and it's like thunk as the crossbow bolt misses you, sticking into the wall next to the door. All right, so we're back around to the front of the round.
Oh, this bastard.
Man, you're getting really lucky. I just rolled a 2. So you hear like doo, 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 as like the figure moves up on you, the big fat man who's moving with incredible. He's morbidly obese, but he has Dex 18, so he moves up to you. He's like he's super dexterous. He moves up to you, and you see this flash, and like a dagger comes like jutting out at you, but he misses you as you just kind of like dodge to the side at the last second.
It's like Chris Farley for Beverly Hills Ninja.
Exactly.
All right.
I'm having a discussion with a friend of mine about dexterity, and I compared it to like really nimble like NFL offensive linemen that are like 300 plus pounds, because he knows this module really well. And we were talking about this guy specifically because he's super fat, but he's like super dexterous, and I just kind of love that. Like he's like that guy. All right, so you know that he's basically right in front of you, JB.
Daggers.
All right, you're gonna try to attack him.
I'm gonna try to attack him.
All right, go on ahead. You just got to roll a 20. I'm just gonna tell you right now, you're not gonna hit him unless you roll 20.
Well, Stagger's got a +1 to hit. Does that matter? Probably not.
It's +1.
Come on.
His AC is outrageous, though. So.
Oh my god! Should I take a picture of this?
Did you roll a nat 20?
I rolled a nat 20.
That's awesome.
I almost forgot to roll for damage.
Yeah, you did forget.
All right, D4 3, so that's 6. +1 actually, is that 7 or is that 8? Probably 7.
Yeah, it just doubles the die.
Okay. No, the dagger was a +1 though, because it's the one I got from the Highwayman. Or is that +1 to hit and damage, or just +1 to hit?
Hit and damage,
okay,
but it doubles the die, and then it adds many modifiers on top of that.
So that's 7.
Okay. A motherfucker.
And hopefully he's bleeding now, and we can see him better.
You can see blood drips on the on the ground, that's for sure. All right. And don't you have 2 daggers? Or are you using one hand? You're using one in one hand.
I have 2 daggers. Yes.
Are you doing dual weapon? Or do you use a single weapon? I don't remember. I can't remember what you do, how you fight.
I haven't. I think I've been doing like 2 daggers, but I've had one at the end of the fight. This is how I've been doing. I've been using my bow last couple rounds, so I don't even remember how I did this.
If you fight ambidexter, if you fight with 2 weapons, you have penalties. Unless
let's say
you have
one
some
weapon, and I was
abilities.
just using 2 hands because I was trying to just go for broke.
Ren can use 2 weapons because he's got some specials because he's a ranger. All right, so Ren, you've got the body. You're running out. You're out of there now. I mean, you've moved a good distance. Are you just continuing to run away?
Until I get him to the temple.
Okay, so you're heading to the temple. It's not far, actually.
No, it's
to the temple. So you actually kind of like go running up the hill, and you can see like there actually is some light up at the temple, because like there's been a lot of activity going on, and there are wounded that are being cared for because so many people were burned, and that's essentially the hospital in town. So there's a lot of activity. You go rushing up there with Brother Rygar in hands, and a strong, tall, plate mail wearing man, young man, piercing blue eyes, looks over at you and says, by St. Cuthbert, what has happened here? And that's about your round. All right, JB, declare actions. What are you up to this round? You can't see the guy, but you figure he's there. There's definitely a little bit of blood on the ground in front of you.
With the dripping blood, am I able to get a better sense of where he is? Vaguely.
I'll decrease your penalty by 1.
Thank you.
So you're now -3 instead of -4.
Okay.
You have to roll 20 to hit him still. It doesn't make any difference.
Yeah,
His AC is outrageous.
This is so fucked.
Based on where the blood drippings are, is he close enough still for a dagger, or would I?
Yeah, he is.
Okay,
he's in melee with you right now.
We're gonna stab him at him one more time.
All right. Well, he's gonna stab at you first. All right. Well, that is gonna probably hit this time.
With that, my dex bonus, I've got a 6.
No, you still get your dex bonus. When you were surprised, you don't get dex bonus.
Gotcha. Okay.
So 2. I think that's gonna miss you still. 2, 3, 5, 6, 15, AC. AC 5. What's your that's your AC's 2, right? So yeah, he doesn't hit you. You move out of the way.
All right. We're gonna stab right back at him.
All right, go ahead.
Been good so far. Pink dice, do not let me down. 19. Bam.
What AC does that hit? 19. You're level 4.
Level 4.
So your attack goes 19. That's 0. AC -1. No, you don't hit him.
It's my +1. It's my +1 dagger.
I know. That's what I'm saying. +1.
Right.
You have to roll a 20, dude.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, all right. Ren. Well, actually, let's go ahead and declare actions. JB, what are you doing this round? It's a new round.
Still going to attack.
All right, you're standing toe to toe with this guy.
Oh, actually, Damn, that's a good question. If I'm both out of here, he's got an attack of opportunity. I'm sticking. That has only marginally let me down so far.
There is something, and you might not be aware of this in the rules. There's something called a fighting retreat. So there's bolting out of there, that's for sure, where you just turn your back and you run the fuck away. But you can move half your movement rate. You're essentially backing up. You're backing away. You keep your weapon up, and the enemy can follow you still like that, but they don't get an attack of opportunity. He could still offend. He could still potentially attack you.
All right, I am going to do the guarded retreat, and I'm going to yell out, "Demon! Demon!"
All right, Ren, you do guarded retreat. First of all, let me get back to just really quickly. JB, you do that. You yell in demon. You're not sure what happens. You don't know what the guy does. You're not really sure what happens. All right, Ren, you run up to the run up the hill. The man says, again, he says, "By St. Cuthbert, what has happened here?" He looks at you and he says, "You're one of those Vengeance of Verbabonk fellows, are you not?"
Yeah, sure.
"Brother Rygar," he exclaims.
All right. Hopefully I'm handing him over to a priest.
Yeah, he takes it. He is a priest, actually. You wouldn't necessarily know this, but yeah, he's a priest. He says, "This man's been poisoned." He says, "Help me bring him into the temple." Although he's very strong, he probably doesn't need help, but
I'll help him anyway.
yeah, a couple of the acolytes come over and like they get a stretcher, put him on the stretcher. All right. Let's see here. You're yelling demon out, JB.
Mm-hmm.
Ren, you probably hear some demon, demon.
Oh yeah, if the priestess has got him, I'm running back out the door whenever my turn is, headed back that way. Check on
Okay.
JB.
That round passes. Okay, so we're still in the combat round. So, Ren, you start running back. JB, what are you doing?
I'm still backing out. Am I outside?
You're outside, yeah.
Gonna keep my dagger up and just sort of guard that entrance. I know there's another entrance, but can't get them both. It's still gonna shout, look around, see if I'm getting anyone.
Are you
else.
so you stop? You stop right there?
Backing up slowly, but I'm not like turning around and running, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm keeping my focus on the building itself. Still yelling. Just doing a quick look around to see if anyone is coming to check things out.
All right, so you do that, and you see a really odd sight. You see, come around the side of the building, like what would have been from the behind the back.
Mm-hmm.
You see a floating crossbow, and then it fires at you.
Oh no.
Dude, you are so fucking lucky, man. I am rolling shit on these ever since I rolled that nat 20 on poor Nick. The crossbow bolt goes flying by you. And then it's slammed to the ground.
Fatty fall down?
It slams to the ground. Now, it looks like it might have been, like, invisibly thrown to the ground by somebody who's angry that they didn't make the attack.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
I can't help but chuckle at that.
Ren, make a perception check.
3. Yay.
All right, so you saw like that crossbow fire and crash to the ground. All right, so we're essentially in a new round now. What's the JB? What are you doing?
Do I see Ren coming back up?
Uh-huh. And you look, and you see Ren running down the hill, and you see behind him are a couple of armor-wearing, sword-carrying dudes, acolytes of St. Cuthbert. They're like maybe 30 feet behind him.
All right. Well, since it's not just Ren, I'm going to say something in there is attacking us. It attacked Brother Rygar. We need help.
In the name of justice! In the name of St. Cuthbert! Attack! You hear, and like several of the men are like yelling, "Ah!" Running down. Avenge Sir Rygar! Avenge Brother Rygar! Overzealous acolytes running down the hill.
Using to our advantage when we can.
Okay. Ren, you kind of run into the area. What would you like to do?
Other than seeing the crossbow go off, I guess I can just fire in that direction. I'm not saying I'm going to hit anything.
All right. Well, go ahead and roll. Just roll a nat 20.
Yeah. 15.
All right. Well, not a bad roll, but all right. So
What is all that shouting loud enough that we can hear it? Anybody else? Because we're technically like right next door, right?
no, this is pretty far off, actually. In fact, let me get the
You're in the winch. You might hear it, but I don't think the people down towards the grove would hear it.
definitely not the people through the grove.
Yeah, so I'm thinking because I'm in the winch. So
I'm not being subtle. Like I'm going top of my lungs here. So that's up to y'all.
It's still pretty far, though, dude.
Yeah.
Okay.
it's all good. I was just asking.
Sure.
You're sleeping, dude. You're sleeping it off.
Are you in the winch or are you in a winch?
Probably both. It's like
Maybe.
it's winchception. Inside a winch, in the winch,
Oh my God.
using a winch.
Adult themes in this game. All right, so the let's see. So the acolytes of St. Cuthbert come running down the hill. You miss with your shot, Ren. We're back to the next, or you can take a second shot if you want. Take a second shot.
Miss.
All right.
You said it had to hit a 20, right? Miss.
Yeah. So the acolytes run up and they're like all fervent to like attack something, and they kind of like run up. And they run up and they run towards JB, and one of them says, "Where's the villain?" Yes, where? They're
He was
kind of like
inside.
all around.
He was inside. He just attacked me from over there, but he's invisible.
Could have stuck with the demon. He's a demon.
Yes. Well, I mean, where's the villain? Invisible.
One of them, the one who's been talking to you, says, "Spread out. Saint Cuthbert's wisdom guide us." Says another one.
Yes. Love it.
All right. What would you like to do this round, JB?
I would like to fire an arrow in the direction of any noise I hear from this guy, but I don't think I can hear him anymore. He's probably now, if he's smart, he's being quiet.
Okay.
But,
yeah, you don't hear anything right yet. What about Ren?
I'm pretty much got bow up. I'm just looking around. And if I can't
Okay.
see it, then there's no.
Everybody's
standing
kind of
still. I'm
looking
not running
around this
towards it.
round, essentially. Everybody's looking
Yeah.
around this round.
Yeah.
The next round, at the beginning of the round, essentially on initiative 4, a horse comes rushing around from behind the building to like right here, where all of you are like basically passing pretty close near you and heading south over the ford of the river that's right there. It's heading south. It doesn't appear to have a rider on it, but it has a saddle
Mm-hmm.
and some gear on it and such.
Do I have time to take aim about 2 feet above the saddle?
I mean, yeah, it's your action. It's
I'm-
gone. It already went. He's trying to. The horse is fleeing on its own without a rider.
I'm firing an arrow.
Actually, yeah, you can see like there's like the reins are like in the air.
And the horse is probably holding on for dear life because he might be dexterous, but he's fat. Yeah, I'm gonna fire an arrow. I'm not gonna aim for any specific person or thing. I'm gonna aim for about 2 feet above the saddle. If
All right.
that makes sense.
Yep, go ahead.
Oh Lord. 18.
You know, you might actually hit him this time because I'm gonna take his dex bonus off of
He's
this.
not moving around where I can't
So-
see him. Like I know sort of where he's gonna be. So hopefully that gives me a little something.
So you rolled an 18
18.
plus 2, 19, and I think that is exactly what you need because that is AC -1, I believe, on your part.
Yes.
That is AC -1 is what you need to hit. So your arrow is gonna hit.
And we finally decided I've got sheaf arrows, so that's 1d8 or whatever the 1d8 ones are.
Yep.
Where's my d8?
Didn't poison any of these?
7. I did not think to poison any of them, no. But I rolled a 7 for damage.
You just hear, "Ugh!" and you actually see an arrow like floating in the air, basically, some blood running down from it. Ren,
He's got a target now.
Yeah, I'm shooting too. Nope.
Do a Robin Hood and split that arrow you see floating in there.
And JB, you want to take your second arrow?
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Ren and JB, you each get second arrow shots. So
Go ahead, JB.
19.
all right, okay, you get.
Never gonna not use this dice.
And I'm the ranger.
I love being an archer sharpshooter. I always put everything into those. 3 for damage.
Okay. Another arrow is sticking out of it.
Nope. 17.
Well, wait a
Well-
second. 17.
What
What's
a
your
lucky
THACO?
horse.
Are you level 2?
19. Yeah, 19.
So, and then +2 for your dex.
Well, that was with the +2 with Dex. It was 15
Oh,
plus 2.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right. So,
Do any of the Cuthbertians?
yeah, I
have-
was gonna say the
have
Cuthbertians
arrows?
go running at the guy.
Or the horse.
Yeah, the horse, but they're just not able to catch him. So they're like "Rah!" running with like maces in hand and like chasing after him. as the horse heads south. Each of you are welcome to take a long-range shot as the horse goes charging out of town, charging down the south road.
Do I have time to poison an arrow before I do this?
It takes a round to poison an arrow.
All right. Well, then what I got to lose, I'm going to take a shot.
Got
19 that
arrows to
time.
lose. I think 19 should be enough.
Mhm.
19, yeah. You rolled a 19? On
No,
the
I
die,
rolled a
yeah.
17 plus 2.
19, so, and your
That's a
THAC0 is
0.
19. Yeah, it's AC -1.
Nope.
Yeah.
8 missed.
All right. And then he's out of range. He's
What
out
was
of
the
range.
AC of that horse?
Probably a 7.
I know wasn't going to say anything, but
I wasn't gonna say nothing because I wasn't there. I'd kill that horse.
the tactic would have been to kill the horse.
Been
Yeah,
one dead ass horse.
I posted in the chat. Only one of you is a ranger.
I know.
Yeah.
I was gonna say Ren wouldn't kill the horse, but I'm surprised JB didn't hamstring that horse. That's what I'm gonna say right now.
I just didn't think of it.
Another thing, you're in a general store full of flour. I would attack with flour.
That was another thing I was thinking of too. There's like some things you could have done.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's hard. This is also
It's hard.
your
It's
characters are
hard.
second level characters and
Yeah.
low level
I'm-
characters. This is how you
I'm-
learn.
I'm
This is how
4th
they
level.
learn.
But
I know,
at the same time, with so much going on, you don't think about what's around me. Can I go shopping?
Right.
Should I use the wheat flour or the bleached white flour?
All right. So bleach white flour. God damn it! Is this almond flour or what the fuck is this? All right. So the horse goes running off and goes out of your vision. Grey Ash and Sir Roderick. Two of you returning back to the center of town, or I assume. Where are you going? Yeah, where are you going when you're done?
Yeah, I was headed back to the winch to see if the guard captain was there.
Yeah, we were going to bring help for this
Yeah,
guy.
I was going to gather the guard and head that way.
Mhm.
All right, so the two of you are like just about to walk through the through the open doorway of the welcome lynch, which is like it's actually is open right now. Osler, the innkeeper, is like serving. His tired bar wenches are serving out. They're bringing out food, like like meats and stuff. Like they're getting stuff started early, and they're passing out food mostly to people who have been like helping to put out the fire and stuff like that. They're not charging anybody. They're just like giving out food and drink, things like that, to people who are there helping and stuff like that. It's kind of winding down at this point. Roderick, you see Elmo there, and Grey Ash, you two as well. Like he's in there as well. But then, like as you're just about to cross the threshold into the Inn of the Welcome Wench, you see a horse ride through town, to the center of town, basically right to the center of town. There's just a horse, got a saddle on it. Saddlebags.
Was he floating
Roll-
arrows?
That's what I was gonna say. Both of you roll perception checks.
Nah, I didn't get it.
Rolled a 7.
Rolled a nat 20 on that.
Oh, you don't see shit. Actually, you don't even see the horse.
Nah,
Right.
nah.
Grey Ash, though, you see like, what the fuck is going on there? Because like you see like these floating arrows, and there's like literally definitely like blood, like you can see like these kind of like blood streaks like kind of coming down from the arrows.
How close is this to me?
What's that? How close is it?
Yeah.
I don't know what the scale is here on this. It's probably, actually I do have the scale right here. Let's see. 20 feet. It's 2, 4, 6, 60, 70 feet from you. 60 feet. 60 feet.
60 feet.
I'll give you one action.
One action. Can I? Oh god. I think like what?
The horse is starting to gallop away. What do you want to do?
I don't know what the
you
fuck
hate
I would
horses,
do.
Remember?
The halls rock, Mr. Wilmer. No,
You
Yeah.
hate horses.
literally anti-horse. No, I don't
remember.
I can just. I can try and like. Don't fucking know.
Well, that's the point. You pretty much don't know. You just
Yeah.
see this.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I don't think I'd do anything. Like.
It's fucking
It's-
really weird, but you don't like
It's like
have
what-
any information.
Yeah.
But he sees a horse and there's arrows stuck in something that are
Color spray that horse.
Yeah. You think I have color spray? The thing is, well,
wild magic that thing up.
like, there's no way I can cast a spell and then use that action on the horse. Like that turn, it'll be gone. So,
Yeah, you have one action, so
mm.
quick, make a
I guess I
decision.
can just try and like get in its way and try and stop the horse. That's all I'll do.
You're gonna try to stop the horse?
Like startle it to like stop it running where it's going.
Do you have land-based riding?
No.
All right, so essentially you're making a land-based riding, an untrained land-based riding check to try to stop the horse to do that. Land-based riding is, I don't know if it's a general or a warrior skill. Let's check and see here. Efficiencies, land-based riding is a, oh god damn it. Wish the charts were together here.
Everyone. Can do it.
Okay, it's a general proficiency, so that means it's a -3 and it's wisdom +3. So just wisdom, straight wisdom check.
Okay, I got roll under 8.
Do I see him
Level
run after a
13.
horse?
Yeah, you see him running after a horse.
What are you doing?
And now you see the horse.
What's the? I rolled. Oh yeah, I didn't get it.
Is there's a stable attached to this tavern, isn't there?
There is.
Can I run into it?
Run to the stable.
Yeah.
Well, you don't see arrows or anything like that.
No, I
You-
just see him running at a horse.
Mm.
Let's see here. Let me just check something. So you want to do what exactly?
Me?
You want to go to the stables
yeah.
and do what?
Is there a horse in there?
You go over to the stables and there's horses.
Mount one up and ride after the horse.
All right, that's going to take some time. And I'm going to say the horse is pretty much going to be gone by the time you get to all that. Let's see here. Okay. But let's just deal with this first. So you see Greyash run off and try to stop the horse, right? And he kind of like runs up. He's like, "Stop!" And then he gets essentially like hooved. Like a hoof, he just kind of like gets in the way and gets knocked to the side. You take 3 points of damage, Greyash, as you're knocked to the side by the horse. So I mean, there's there's a stable master. Well, not at this time of night. There's stable. There's like a stable boy. So you go to the stables, and now Roderick, you have your horse, right? You have a horse.
Yeah, it's at the temple.
It's at the temple. All right.
I'm trying to see if riding land base will let me ride this thing without tack and harness.
See here. I think you can ride it without tack and harness. I don't see why it wouldn't allow you to do that. I mean, it maybe there's a riding land-based is a proficiency that is for doing feats. Essentially, it's to do things that are out of the ordinary. Almost anybody can just ride a horse, but like if you want to fight on a horse, you want to do anything. So what I'm going to say is it's essentially a situation where you would be attempting to do something out of the ordinary.
He could probably grab the mane and use
that's what I'm saying.
to,
You just have to make a check to be able to do it, whereas ordinarily you don't need to make a check at all.
Yeah.
You only make a check when riding land base only really applies to when you're trying to do something out of the ordinary. And this is a case where you would be trying to do something out of the ordinary. But you run into the stables, and then there's a stable boy there, and he says, "Sir, yes. Can I help you with something, sir?"
I'm gonna ignore him. Is there a horse just in a stall?
Yeah, there's a couple of horses in the stall. So,
Just,
sir, what can I help you with something?
I'll just yell, "We got trouble!" And then I'm just gonna mount the horse.
Wait, sir. The only trouble I see is that you're stealing a horse. Guards,
bringing it back.
Only evil people steal. You're not evil, therefore you're borrowing.
So you're gonna try to take the horse here. Okay.
Yeah, if I can.
Gosh, so much craziness is happening right now.
Says riding land base. I can vault into a saddle or whatever. Does not require a proficiency check. And if I make the check to get the mount moving during the same round, which I land on the horse, you can also make them jump over obstacles, leap across gaps. Spur his steed to great speeds, adding 6 feet per round. Guide the mount with my knees while I can use weapons, that sort of thing. Yeah, so you can do tricks on the back of these things.
All right, well, so I'm going to say that the horse will get essentially 2 rounds before you get on the horse, because you didn't notice it the first round. The second round, you run to the stables. And then the third round, you're on the horse, and you're going to try to start riding it right away. Go ahead and make your proficiency check.
Made it with an 11.
Okay. So you're 2 rounds behind the horse. All right, so Rash, you get knocked off the horse. The other horse goes running off. And the horse that hits you goes running off. Make a perception check at a -4 penalty, Greyhawk.
Natural 20. Wait, that's
Whoa! Yeah, you do not see which direction the horse goes. I mean, you're
Fantastic.
just kind of totally blinded by it.
Of all the times to get that, right?
Mm. There's literally nothing I could have done.
Yeah.
All right, so you come rushing out of the. You're on your horse. Okay. So Roderick, you come out on your horse. Greyhawk is like standing there, brushing dirt off of himself. The horse that ran by is nowhere in sight. What would you like to do?
What direction was the horse going when he ran toward it?
He was running.
That's the direction I'm going. I'll just run the horse that way.
I mean, yeah, it was there. Okay, so you start heading to the south then. It looked like it was, I mean, it was heading south when he ran towards it. But it was kind of like in this middle area. So you're not, it could have technically gone in three directions. It could have turned around and gone back north. It could have gone south, or it could have gone to the east.
All right.
If you wouldn't have failed your check with a natural 20, I would have maybe given you a little bit more help here, but you failed your perception check with a nat 20.
Yeah, what I'm going to do here is I'll try to spur it to great speeds to see if I can make up some ground where I can possibly see the horse if it's heading that direction.
All right, so we're gonna say this: you went the wrong way. It went to the east, so you're not gonna find it.
Okay.
So the horse is gonna get away. It was a very good attempt, but the horse is gonna get away.
All right.
And we're already a bit past our end time.
Yeah, I'll just ride back to the stable and bring the horse back.
Yeah,
Look
there's
at the stable boy and say, "See, didn't steal it."
There's a man there, and there's he's got like a militia man with him, and he's like explaining the whole situation. But we'll pick up from there next time. But before we quit, all right, before we quit though, because I want to kind of work this out. We're in the midst of in fact, I was actually gonna, okay. Brother Rygar has been brought to the temple. Now, you're in a fortunate position because Sir Roderick is actually a follower of St. Cuthbert, and you could negotiate a raised dead for Brother Rygar, but it will come with a cost, a price, a quest. I want to ask you if that's something you guys want to do.
Yes.
100%.
Yeah,
I'm going to say yes because I'm the paladin who would do it. That's whether they would go.
That's what I'm asking though.
Or do we need a bard?
That's why I want to ask Nick. What do you want?
Do we need a bard?
I love bards.
Does anyone ever need a bard?
Bards are really fun, but I don't know, man. Brother Rygar is kind of badass.
I love Brother Rygar too, but I mean, if you want to do, this is Nick.
But it's up to Nick.
Yeah, I want this to be Nick's choice.
Yeah,
like
JB would be down to save Brother Rygar in a second, but if Nick wants to start with somebody new, then I support that.
I'll do it, but I still have to roll my system shock though.
Yeah, I mean, but we can make it
Resurrection Survival.
Survival, but we can make it easy thing of like, Brother Rygar does not wish to return from the from Nola's side in the afterlife, all that. I mean, we don't have to, but I want to ask because I don't want to like make Nick wait 2 weeks or whatever, and then I want to have at least a slight. Okay, we'll play all that out next time. Because of course there is a potential that you could really fuck it up in role playing with these guys and like do something like that. But I want to make sure before we do that.
That and the resurrection survival could fail, so definitely make a backup.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I might suggest
roll that other character that you want to.
Yeah. I mean, how do you guys feel about this? I was thinking maybe if you die, you start with the same amount of XP minus 20%. How does that sound?
I'm cool with that.
Yeah, I mean, I've got no issue with even starting the same amount of XP because it's not like it's an easy campaign.
I mean, we can do same XP if you guys want. I'm fine with whatever. Like, I want it to be. It's all the same to me. I just want you guys to have. I just want us all to have fun. So, like, for me, if you guys we can start same XP. Certain classes level at different speed. Much faster speeds. So.
Yeah,
I mean, in general, I also feel like it's within the character of the group to say, all right, if you died, we will pay whatever to bring you back after all this. And if Nick makes his roll, but he decides he wants to play the new character, Brother Rygar can be so shook from the experience he doesn't want to travel anymore.
I do think at this point it is up to you guys, since I am dead. It is up to.
I know, but that's
I'm fine with any way it goes.
Yeah, I took you to the temple with the possibility, but your possibility.
Okay.
I feel like the party's like 100% gonna try. It's up to you to choose if your character's soul decides to accept the calling.
JV wants Brother Rygar to come back to life. Pete wants Nick to play whatever character he wants.
Where the hell is my character sheet? I lost my character sheet.
You threw it out already?
No, I didn't throw it out.
So I forgot to tell you guys this, when you die in my game, I use magic powers to literally destroy your character sheet, so it's totally gone forever.
We used to
a fantastic job.
Yeah, let's say
we used to rip the sheets.
It's probably.
I've heard people like they mount them on like a wall that they have in their game room. There's like a wall of.
I had a folder I kept.
I kept them as trophies in a folder.
Yeah. That's what I say. I wish I still kept mine, because we would rip them, but when you put them, like you said, remember those old folders that had the 2 pockets in the sides?
Trapper Keepers.
Yeah.
Kind of like that, yeah, like the cheap ones. That's what we did. You'd rip them and just stuff them in the pocket, and then by the end of the year, you'd have 5 or 6 of them in there at least.
We had so many low-level deaths.
Yeah,
we didn't do it for low levels.
That when somebody new came along,
we would roll Iron Man stats and we'd roll hit points at level 1.
Take out a dead character.
Iron Man stats straight down the line. Let's see what we get.
All those 1 and 2 hit point characters, just terrible.
I would use them to give to new characters
the most
so they can play
lax
something
DMs ever. I don't think I've ever played in a game where there's been a permadeath anywhere.
Well, I mean, we're playing this as straight up as we can.
Sure,
I'm not pulling punches,
Clearly.
Well, but I mean, it's
my resurrection survival was 92.
So you're saying there's a chance?
Oh, yeah, pretty good chance.
All right, good. Then we'll quit there. There's a lot going on right now. We're in the midst of a lot of action and stuff like that. I was going to say too that I think Tucktrin at this point would be roused because there's so much going on. Right, he would be roused as well, so we'll get him back into the action. Hopefully, Dom, you'll be feeling a little better next time too. So
I hope so.
More inclined to even role play and everything. There wasn't really a lot that you all did that was like an XP thing this time, but I thought it was really excellent role playing all around. So I'm just going to give everybody a flat 500 XP for the session. So everybody just gets a flat 500. I'm not even going to choose a role playing, a star for this session, because I just think everybody did an excellent job. And
I think it'd be fair if I don't get any.
I mean, if you survive, you get the XP.
Well, I mean,
well, he's going to take the penalty anyway, so yeah.
Yeah, if it could be instead of a penalty, I'll just lose that.
It's up to you.
Or you just
said
give
20% of my level? Is that what you said? Is that the penalty?
Well, we can decide. I was thinking 20%, subtract 20% of your XP, and that's where you start anew. But we can also keep your XP as what it is. Just transfer it over to your new character. Totally fine with me if you want to do that. But
I thought you said if I got resurrected, I'd have to take 20% penalty.
Hell no. Okay. If you get resurrected, you're back.
Okay, yeah.
So,
I will say bards can't really heal.
Yeah, but
I will say that.
Yeah, who is the healer? Well, I mean, yeah, Tucktrin, but Tucktrin's more of a battle.
Yeah, character. He's more of a fighter priest. And I got 4 hit points I can give everybody, so
I'll be back.
It'll be 6 eventually.
Yeah, eventually.
Well, guys, that was fun. I actually thought there could be some character deaths today, but I expected it to come from the Mode House, so I'm a little surprised. But everybody good for 2 weeks from now?
Yes.
Yeah.
It should
be.
Right.
Again, I remind everybody that's the literally tens of lists of watchers out there to subscribe and like the video and join our Discord. Yeah, everybody except for Frank. Frank, go fuck yourself as usual, and we'll see you guys in a couple of weeks.
See you
good.
later.
Anything else?
Nope.
Nope.
All right. We'll see you. Thanks, guys. Thanks for playing. Take care.